Welcome to the Smark Foundation podcast. I'm Aaron. This is Adam.
Oh, hi, Marks.
And we are here to talk about the best of AEW from the week. A little bit of news to kick off the thing. We cover all brands and promotions during the news. It appears during Backlash this weekend that Asuka is stepping away from WWE. She had a match with
I mean,
Io that
that.
was very well rated. From
Mhm.
what I hear, I didn't actually watch it yet. I do intend to, but I'm gonna wait a little bit because I'm not giving them any money, so I'm gonna wait till an individual version pops up on YouTube or something. But it was very emotional afterwards, even though they're heated rivals. They hugged, they were very emotional, and
Yeah,
Asuka gave a little
from
goodbye wave at the end.
yeah, from what I understand, and I'm going to apologize right now. I'm coming down with a cold, so if my voice isn't as is even more nasally and grating and annoying than usual, I do apologize. But yeah, from what I have been led to understand, it definitely seemed like it was uh, a goodbye moment.
Yeah,
Whether that means retirement or maybe she just got let go from WWE because, like the New Day, she knew her worth
yeah,
and they let her go over it. I don't know. Nobody seems to know anything. The latest update we got as of right now, Sean Ross Sapp posted on Blue Sky that, and I'm sure Twitter and his other socials too, that she signed a new deal in 2024. You assume that that was probably for 5 years because most of the contracts around the same time were for 5 years. But like, so did the New Day.
yeah.
So that's it, though. That's literally all we know.
Mhm.
So, like, for all I know, it's just I want to take it with a grain of salt, but it is very, very it's enticing to talk about possibilities if this is her leaving the Fed.
Yeah,
Um,
because I
here's my
mean,
take. My take is that if she goes on the market, you take her.
100%.
There was a run, especially when she was in NXT, where she was absolutely 100% in the conversation for best in-ring performer in the world, regardless of gender.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I remember watching her NXT run. I was
She
watching NXT
was
then. She was fantastic.
incredible. Absolutely. I
So
was a
good.
huge fan of Asuka.
Hmm.
And then they completely ruined her with the WWE style, the main roster style, coupled with her not only losing her first main roster or for the first time on the main roster against Charlotte at WrestleMania, but having her tap out to do so,
Yeah.
which means more whether you agree with the thought process behind it or not. That
Yeah.
means more in wrestling than it does in combat sports, actual
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
Like in combat, we've been over this, but to go over it in combat sports, it's a matter of survivability. People will they will choke you out and render you unconscious. They will break your arm if you don't tap, if they've got it locked in.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's a matter of survivability.
Hmm.
In wrestling, wrestling is staged. It
Yeah.
is simulated combat, combined with theater. So when you take the realness out of it, a submission is just that, a submission.
Yeah.
It is from a storyline perspective, unless they go over and above to point out that there was no other choice. They had to do it. They were trapped. They had no choice. They were gonna pass out. They were gonna have their back broken. Whatever. If the story itself of the match and the commentators don't go out of their way to present it as such, tapping out is seen as the coward's way out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at the very least, the wimp's way out.
Yeah.
Uh, so having Asuka lose her first match in WWE via submission. Killed her.
Yeah.
It killed her aura. Whatever aura she had left from NXT was gone. And, you know, it's not that she wouldn't be world champion. It's not that she wouldn't be tag champion. She was several times, both brands. But it just wasn't there anymore.
No.
Just, the aura was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
and AEW has a penchant for bringing the aura back to these people. Yeah, Ricochet is in so much better a position now than he was when he left WWE. Than he ever was, even when he was in NXT. I don't think he was presented as well as he is in AEW.
We could even go
and with that guy eats pins all the time.
Yeah. We could even go with older people like Edge came to AEW and suddenly learned how to throw a spear.
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not a flying hug anymore.
Christian is playing the best asshole version of himself he's ever been.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Aging like a fine wine, that one.
Yeah, he is. He is. I hope I age that well, 10 years down the line from now.
It's too bad we're going on a hiatus for most of June because we would probably have a special Father's Day episode just for him.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So, yeah, I mean, they bring back the aura. And honestly, like I was thinking about today, I was like, man, they could hire Asuka, but then Kyrie too, and then like there's so many other people. But I was like, yes, there's like this 4-pack of WWE wrestlers who could just easily slot right, or 6-pack of WWE wrestlers who could easily slot right into AEW, no problem, and actually benefit the divisions they would be slotted into highly. Kyrie and Asuka would do great as singles wrestlers in the women's division right now, but they would do really great as a tag team also. And then I thought to myself, man, that's a lot of Japanese wrestlers. And I was like, if any place needed a plethora of Japanese wrestlers, it is AEW. So like, not a problem. Where my brain was like, that might be a few too many, but is there ever too many? No. So yeah, like that's how I worked it through myself. I was like, no, there's really not though. Like, I mean, you could, half the roster is Mexican and Japanese, and I'm 100% okay with it. It's freaking awesome. It just brings a level of spice to the roster that you just don't really get a lot of other places, because WWE brings in great Japanese wrestlers like Shinsuke, and kind of ruins them a little bit.
Neuter them.
Neuters them bad. I remember like Shinsuke, he's almost exactly the same as Asuka. Like had all that aura. And then they just kind of effed him up on the main roster.
Well, I mean, jobbing out to freaking Jinder Mahal twice in 2 pay-per-views in a row.
Yeah.
If they had any shot of rehabilitating him before then, they killed it with that.
Yeah. But yeah, so like there's like 2 tag teams and these 2, Joshis basically, who could just easily slot into AEW, and the possibilities are almost endless. And honestly, the AEW women's division could use Asuka like so much right now, especially with the absence of Toni Storm, because she could immediately come in and be that top spot, period. Like she could immediately come in, and everybody knows who she is, and nobody would question it if she rolled up Tekla. Nobody.
Oh, of course not. No way. No. It would be immediately believable.
Yeah. And honestly, out of everybody that I'm looking at who would be available or is already on the roster, like it needs to be somebody like Asuka, or it needs to be freaking I love her so much and now I can't remember her name. And I don't know why. Athena. It needs to be Athena. It really needs to be Athena.
It should be Athena.
God, it should be Athena.
She's already under the umbrella. What?
Yeah.
Just have her drop the belt to Billy Starks, call it a day, and bring her up, for God's sake. We're going to talk about this later on the show.
Yeah, and we're going to continue talking about it on the show until it happens. So,
yeah.
Because we want it to happen. But yeah, that's really the big thing AEW wise.
Yeah.
But there is one more thing.
Yeah. Well, if this is the one thing, additional thing I say is that if she's available and looking for it, yes, of course you grab her. But she signed that deal. She in 2024. She re-signed. So you don't know how, and I'm going to use a term that I kind of hate, but like it's something that our audience will probably resonate with. You don't really know how fed pilled she is.
Yeah. Yeah, you
You
don't.
know, like the way that the New Day left, I have a feeling that they are going to be like, talking about knowing their worth and stuff like this. They've got something to prove. Plus, they've got friends over there. They've always been friendly with the New Day. The FTR was, immediately on board with them. Like, they've got friends here. They'll play ball. You know that
Yeah.
they will.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we don't want. But there's a reason that we want the New Day, and we're passing on Aleister Black.
Yeah.
And I don't know which side of the spectrum she leans more towards.
Yeah.
If she's willing to play ball and be a professional and not, think she's too good for anything. And I mean, you never know. Like, you think that, these people that come to AEW who left WWE and did mostly jobs, they wouldn't have such big heads because they did mostly jobs.
Yeah.
Like, but then you have guys like Miro and Black that came over and were just using it as a layover until they could get signed by WWE again, and that's why we don't really want them back.
Yeah,
I hope that's not the case with Kana, but you don't know. I mean, you would have to think that she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
So I think she's around our age, maybe a little older, probably.
I think she's
Than me, anyway. I'm 41. I'm gonna look it up. She was born in 1981. She's 44.
Okay.
So you would think that. My guess is she signed that contract thinking it was going to be the last contract that she was ever going to sign as an active wrestler.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if that's the case here, and she sees the opportunity in AEW, and she sees that as if Tony offers her 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
A comparable contract time, then that's probably the last contract that she's ever going to have. Then, yeah, she's probably going to be okay to work with and stuff like that. But, I mean, I know that she's beloved in that WWE locker room. All of those girls love her.
Yeah.
That seems to suggest that she's not difficult to work with.
No, I don't think she
and doesn't have like a huge ego.
Yeah.
So, I'm hopeful. I'm just, you know what I always say, behind every cynic is a jaded idealist. So this is the cynic that's trying to temper my idealism here. Right. I really want her in AEW. I absolutely want her in AEW.
Yeah.
But I just need to know it's going to work.
Yeah. And I like I said, I'm not sure where she's going to end up. I'm not sure if she's going to retire or if she's injured or something. I mean, we just don't know.
We don't know.
And I don't want to like conjecturize on like whether she's got, an injury or something like that, because that's none of our business unless she wants to tell us. Yeah. So hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she's in good health. Hopefully the worst that this is, her leaving WWE, is just, knowing her worth, and they were going to cut her pay, and she didn't want to do that, knowing that somebody like Tony, like that, she could just wait out 90 days, and somebody like Tony Khan would come along and give her what she's worth. Yeah, because he will.
Which is, for the record, the moon. Give her the moon.
Yeah, yeah. And so, best of luck to her wherever she ends up, whatever she wants to do, whatever she is going to be doing. I'm a big fan of hers, so I hope she comes over to AEW because I'd like to watch her wrestle again. But if she decides to never wrestle again, cool, man, do your thing. I'm sure she has enough money from the last like decade and a half to probably chill for the rest of her life. Actually, I'm sure her contracts were not tiny.
No, probably not.
Yeah. So that it's kind of the news for the week that we wanted to cover here. We are going to roll into another news story right away, though, pretty much with the Dynamite review. So we're going into Dynamite. It is a Dynamite and Collision combo 3-hour broadcast this week from the North Charleston Coliseum in Charleston, South Carolina. Um, and they started with one of the hardest segments that I, as a wrestling fan from the mid 90s, have had to watch
Yeah.
in a long time.
Eh,
Thanks
Like,
a lot to the fact that you could tell how incredibly emotional Tony Schiavone was and how
mm,
he was doing a very good job of keeping it together.
yeah.
Um, but Ted Turner, um, man of many hats, has passed away this week at the age of
Yeah.
87. We here in the wrestling sphere know Ted because he bought Jim Crockett Promotions and he turned the NWA into WCW and bled money from his own pocket, millions and millions and millions of dollars at a fucking time, to create some of the best to create some of the best wrestling, to beat WWE for 57 weeks, to create the Monday Night Wars, because without Ted Turner giving a shitload of money to WCW and giving them a time slot on Monday night right in the same time slot as Vince's, to just fuck with him because that's the kind of guy Ted was. Without him doing all that stuff, like, guaranteed contracts would not exist in the wrestling business. Uh, the Monday Night Wars would have never happened. WWE would have never gotten any better than they were in the mid 90s because they never would have been forced to do so. Nobody would have ever seen anybody at the top of wrestling but Vince, where we had Ted. And beyond that, as a Texan, I love Ted because not just in Montana, but down here in Texas, where I live, Ted owns a bunch of land and has a giant buffalo herd. And we call them tourist tossers around here because people come from other states to see the buffalo and they think it's okay to get up to the fence and try to pet them.
No.
And that's not
Don't do
okay.
that.
If
Don't
you're
do
listening
that.
to if you're listening to
Don't
this
do
and
that.
you've never encountered a buffalo, do not get within arm's reach of a buffalo. Their
No.
heads are 4.5 inches thick at the top, and they will literally launch you across a 3-lane highway. I've seen it happen.
Yeah,
So
bison are nothing to mess
yeah,
with,
they're
guys.
not good temperamented animals, but they are beautiful. But yeah, so I mean, he had place in Montana. He has a place down here. He's a huge conservationist. Like, there's very few
He created
billionaires
Captain
that,
Planet, baby.
yeah, there's
Our
very few
generation was
billionaires.
raised on Captain Planet.
Yeah, like Ted and Tony Khan are like a couple of the only billionaires on the planet in history that you can look at and be like, this person was more good for our world than they were bad. Because
Despite the money.
because Ted just did shit because he liked to do shit. I don't know how he made his money in the first place. Like, it was from the Braves or something. Like, how he made the most of his money. But
I read in the Observer. I read Meltzer's his biographies. When somebody dies, are incredible. Like, they really are. It's honestly, he gets a lot of flack for a lot of things, but his obituaries are some of the most interesting
yeah,
things that he does. They're always worth your time. I would recommend. It's very, very long.
yeah,
It's absolutely a long read, but it's worth reading. I read the whole thing. He was a fascinating guy. Ted Turner was.
Yeah, really.
He really was. He got into the business. I think he inherited. If I'm getting that right, he inherited a a billboard company or something like that. Saved his money and then bought the local TV station, and that's where he had wrestling on, and that's where his love affair with wrestling began. Was in the '60s when he bought that, and then he parlayed. He was just really, really good with his money. Really savvy businessman. From there, he bought a whole bunch of sports teams like the Braves, like not the Falcons, but the Hawks. He owned a soccer team too. He parlayed his money well. He created, for better or for worse, the 24-hour news cycle and CNN. Like, he was, like you said, a huge conservationist. He married Jane Fonda.
Depending on where you sit, that's a win or a loss. Even if you're completely left like us, that could be a win or a loss.
I mean, how bad of a person could he have been if the face of the anti-Vietnam movement was into him?
Yeah, true, true. I
Like,
mean, I'm sure he was a nice guy. By all accounts, when Sting says somebody was a great person, I usually tend to believe him because Sting is not really.
I mean, he still has nice things. He has nice things to say about everybody. He has nice things to say about Hulk Hogan.
Well,
So I,
okay, fair, fair.
so
Sting
I
is one of
mean,
those people who's not going to disparage you, regardless of how much of a shitty person you were either. So,
that's true
but
because
Sting
he's more or
tends,
less an actual good Christian,
yeah,
more
yeah,
or less.
yeah. More as far as I can tell, yeah. Because I mean, I don't know any dirt about Sting. I don't know anything bad Sting's ever done, and I
No,
don't want to. Okay, I
it's
don't want to.
there's nothing out there. There's
So,
nothing out there,
yeah,
which suggests that there's nothing to tell.
yeah. Because if there was something to tell about a guy like that, somebody would have told it already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, Ted was like a good dude who just really like who had a good down home Southern boy who came from nothing. And because I mean, if all he inherited in his life was a billboard company, I mean, I know people who own billboard companies. They're not like the richest people on the fucking planet. They do well, but they're not the richest people on the planet, you know. So
Yeah.
they're still just down home regular folks, you know, with a little bit more money than other people. So if that's what Ted came from, especially back in like the fucking 50s and 60s, and then fell in love with this art form that we all love so much, and then was such a positive force for said art form because he was. I mean, you think about like wrestlers wanted to unionize, maybe that didn't happen, but Ted gave them guaranteed money so that if they
Yeah.
did get hurt, they could, Ted's also the guy who pioneered, sending guys to the doctor in Georgia. That was Ted's thing. That wasn't Vince's thing. That Georgia doctor was Ted's guy. And then WWE
Yeah.
was like, you know what, we're going to use him too.
Yeah.
So little shit like that you hear in the wrestling
Yeah.
business.
He
As long as I've
Just the
been in it.
famous story that like Sting kind of touched on it in this thing to a degree. He told the story about how there were always people telling him to drop wrestling because for the longest time it was just a money sink.
Bleeding money.
And
Bleeding.
he told Sting told the story here that Ted told them, the wrestlers, just keep doing what you're doing, you'll always have a job here. And that's connected to another more famous version of that story where he famously was at one point begged by his like his board of directors or something like that for TBS and that to drop this wrestling bullshit. And he's like, wrestling built this station. As far as I'm concerned, as long as I'm in charge, I have any power to affect it. Wrestling will always be on this station, no matter what.
Yeah.
So stop asking, or I'm gonna get pissed.
Yeah. And his wrath was well known also.
Yeah.
But the thing he protected the most that wasn't Buffalo was fucking wrestling, man. He loved wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I really can't be hateful or mad towards somebody who not only loved it as much as we do, obviously. I mean, what billionaire? I mean, he had to have spent and gone in the red something like a couple $1 billion because of WCW. I mean, he easily spent that much on them from the Jim Crockett days all the way through the end of WCW, and then it only sold for like $2.5 million or something like that. Like,
$2.5 million for the company, $1.7 million for the video library.
Okay, so less than 5 all told, and he never once complained about the amount of money he pumped into it. If he did it privately, no one knows, and I'm sure he didn't because in the boardroom he was telling them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And he could because he had the deepest pocket at the time. I think the deepest pockets on the planet. That wasn't like Saudi.
Probably at the time. Yeah. I mean, and the only reason that WCW actually folded was because of the merger.
Yeah.
He lost complete power in the merger. Yeah. He was unfortunately outplayed by the people that were put in charge. Between the merger from Time Warner and AOL.
Yeah.
Jamie Kellner was put in charge of programming. He had a personal vendetta against wrestling. He, much like my mother, hates wrestling.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's lowbrow, entertainment that he didn't want to chase. And so at the very first opportunity he had, he pulled the plug.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. If Ted Turner had any say at that point in his company, it still would have been as bad as the product was at the time in 2001.
But
I
boy,
mean,
God
they were
was
kind
it.
of coming back a little bit.
Yeah, a little
They
bit,
were
but
they were trying to right the ship, but like after the year 2000, where they lost like $85 million or something like that,
mm,
with terrible Vince Russo creative,
ugh.
um, like it still would have been on the air. It would have been what TNA became. Is that the little engine that could, that
Yeah,
like just never seems to die, no matter how much it seems like maybe it should.
yeah,
So
yeah.
no,
I mean,
I can't hate anybody who loved wrestling that much that they just would sacrifice so much of their own, their own money for that.
yeah,
Like, granted, he was a billionaire. $85 million is kind of a
nothing.
drop in the bucket for a
Yeah,
billionaire, but like in real terms, that's a ton of money to be
yeah, it's a
sinking into something
ton.
that's not
Yeah,
working.
especially thinking about that amount of money in like 26 years ago.
Yeah,
Fucking $85 million in the year 2000 bought you a lot more than it buys you now. You can't
yeah.
even you could probably if you want to buy a successful anything these days that is like in the millions of dollars range, you're going way over 85.
According to
So
Google, $85 million in 2001 is equivalent to the purchasing power of approximately almost twice that, $158.5 million.
good lord, 150. You know what I would do with $158 million? Start an indie.
Yeah.
Because you got it. Let me let y'all in on something. Anybody who's listening who has fantasies about being in the wrestling business but doesn't want to, if you want to be in the wrestling business, just go work somewhere. Okay, go to a wrestling school, learn, go work somewhere. Okay, don't run the shit. Don't. Okay, take it from somebody who has given many, 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 many checks of my own money to wrestling promoters to make sure that they don't go away because I love wrestling. Um, don't fucking be the guy in charge. Okay. Don't be the guy trying to make good on your investment. Don't do any of that. If you've got $185 million or $150 million and you want to start a wrestling company, put aside like 10 of it and start a wrestling company and don't ever worry about making a profit because you're not gonna.
No. No.
uh, so it just, if I'd put aside 10 of it and just start a wrestling company and book whoever the fuck I wanted, whenever the fuck I wanted, and have a show like once a month or something. But Ted, I mean, he probably spent $1 billion. I would say
Probably.
through all, like, I don't know what the purchase price of JCP was, but I bet it was not tiny, and especially for the day, because it was like 1989 or 1990 or something when that happened,
Yeah.
or 1985 maybe. But
88?
maybe something like that. But I mean, whatever the purchase price was back then, it's probably a lot more now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you cannot equate and say what the current wrestling landscape would look like without Ted, because Ted gave Vince the run for his money that made WWE have to have better creative, that kept us all drawn into the wrestling business through the early 2000s when there wasn't really anything else. And without Ted, there probably wouldn't be an AEW.
Probably not.
Because the other channels where you expect to see wrestling that aren't Turner networks already have wrestling shows. And I know damn well Tony Khan, after seeing what happened to ROH, wasn't going to sign a deal with Sinclair. So
No, and in fact, if I remember the story correctly, he was, I mean, he's got a lot of connections, but he was at a party or something like that with a whole bunch of these executive types that he knew, and he pitched it to Turner executives specifically on the basis of the history that wrestling had on the channels, and how it's like it's time for it to come home.
good strategy,
Based,
to be honest.
I mean, Kellner's not there anymore, so it's not
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
had him as an obstacle.
Well, I mean, if Kellner was standing face to face with a billionaire like one of the Khans, who are like some of the biggest names in sports, um, I don't know if he would have been as belligerent, to be honest with you. But at the same time, he probably still would have said no.
Yeah.
But he probably wouldn't have been belligerent and bullheaded with Tony Khan, like,
Well,
uh,
apparently, like I'm looking up Jamie Kellner on Wikipedia right now, and he's gone. He passed away in just a little under 2 years ago.
well, I don't
He
want to
was
disparage the dead.
77. He was 77.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something about septuagenarians. Even if he was in charge in 2019 when they were looking for a deal, a TV deal, yeah, if he had to say it, he would have dug his heels in
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
just what old people do. Like they're set in their ways, man.
Yeah.
Like it'll happen to us. I'm
It
telling
will.
you right
It
now,
will.
it's going to happen to us.
It will.
The only solace I have and hope that I have that maybe it won't happen is that I'm aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a pretty strong self awareness, reflective reflex, personality wise. So I'm hoping that I'm not that guy, but there's a pretty good chance that once I get to be that old, even if I'm of sound minds, that I'm pretty much gonna be set in my ways.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he was probably out of the picture by that point.
So, I guess, I mean, you know, what can I say about Kellner except that Ted outlived you, bud. Um, but and I'm not going to disparage the dead, so that's all I'll say. But
Looks like
matters.
he was active only until 2016. So actually,
Okay,
Tony kind of lucked out.
yeah, a little bit. But yeah, as far as Ted goes, yeah, you don't see wrestling as it is today without Ted, and I'm a big personal fan of Ted. Like I'm not like a cultist who's like, oh God, he was so awesome. He was the best ever, but he did really great things for the wrestling industry. And um, I'm glad he did because, I wouldn't have worked in wrestling without the wrestling that he put in my television set every week for my entire childhood. So,
Yeah.
my dad loved his companies and I did too. And it just, rest in peace, Ted.
Yeah. He was one of the billionaires we would have eaten last.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. Ted's the kind of guy, though. He might have helped us eat the other billionaires.
I mean, if you look at the villains in Captain Planet, it's very clear he didn't hold his peers in high esteem.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I don't think. I think he thought they were all fools, probably. So, some word similar to that. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, now that we are past the sad stuff, let's get to the awesome stuff because
Oh yeah.
Dynamite was pretty cool this week, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty decent. Not gonna lie. There was the tribute. They did the 10 bell salute and the whole deal. Very classy, very respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And then we open up with Jon Moxley versus Juice Robinson, which is pretty much the opposite of classy and respectful.
I like that they described what they've got going on as the longest bar fight in history. I thought that was cool. I liked that Renee was like, he wouldn't talk to me. He just kept saying, I beat Jon Moxley before. I can beat Jon Moxley again. And then he came out walking down the rampway going, I beat Jon Moxley before. I can beat Jon Moxley again. Like the whole time he was walking to the
ring. I like the verisimilitude there.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
The continuity.
This was
it was okay. I don't think it was as good as some of his other Eliminator matches, though.
I think the reason that I didn't like it as much as some of his other matches is because it's not the people in it. Like I like Moxley and I'm a huge fan of Juice. Anybody who's been listening to this show long enough knows that I like Juice. But I really thought this one was going to go the distance. Like, and then when Moxley won, I was like, really? Like, the way y'all
Yeah, I'm.
described this, the fact that I know that this guy has beaten John Moxley before, the way that y'all set this up at the beginning, like everything led me to believe that this was going to be like a time limit draw, or maybe Juice would squeak out a win. And it felt very unceremonious to have to end when it did and how.
Yeah, I was okay with it. Like, I mean, I like Juice as a personality, but as a wrestler, it kind of leaves me a little cold. Like when you're he needs a new finish for one thing.
That's true.
Like it's a DDT, but he falls face down with it, so it doesn't really look like it's impactful all that much.
Yeah.
Even though technically he's squashing the guy from the front, from the top too. So like he face plants, but he's also got a 220-pound man falling on top of him.
Yeah.
Like it physically, that should be, if anything, more devastating. It just doesn't look as good.
Yeah. There's got to be a better way to execute it. And it may just be the nature of that move itself, and maybe he just needs another one. I mean,
Yeah, he needs something else.
his punch is
But
presented as dangerous. He could just give that left hook a shot, like
yeah, I mean, Moxley, like he has done with literally everybody else in this Continental title run, has gone out of his way to make his opponent look good.
yeah.
But like when you're doing it against Konosuke Takeshita and Will Ospreay, and then you go to a Juice Robinson, it's like, I feel like the progression should have been the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things this week that I was kind of like, why are we doing that?
Yeah.
But this one I think it was mostly like, I mean, this is the first feud. Like, this was the first, like, one of these matches like this that I was like, I would really be interested in seeing this as a feud. And then they didn't do that. And
they just kind of blow it off.
yeah. And I'm just like, oh, well, that sucks. Cause yeah, like I'd be interested in this. There's 4 of these guys, we can get rid of the gang warfare aspect by having equal numbers, and and besides the fact that the Continental title picture kind of precludes that. So
I'm wondering, here's what I'm wondering. Like, for Double or Nothing, the Death Riders have nothing to do as of yet.
Yeah.
You have to kind of assume with where things are going that maybe it's going to be Ospreay versus Joe, which is a match I'd like to see, for the record. I don't think we've seen that before, and I'm intrigued by the matchup. But that leaves, I thought it was going to be the Death Riders in Anarchy in the Arena. We'll get to why that's not happening in a little bit, but it's not happening. I'm wondering if they set up this Juice Robinson thing to set up what they're really setting up. Because the Bang Bang Gang is almost complete.
That's true.
And Jay White has been out for a year.
Yeah.
And Jay White versus Moxley is a bigger match than Juice Robinson versus John Moxley.
Yeah.
If they're foreshadowing the return of Jay White to face John Moxley, that's a match I could get behind. Like, I'm not the biggest Jay White fan there is. I don't think he's like this bona fide main eventer that a lot of people seem to think he is. I think he's a good hand, though. And he has a very interesting style. And I think that him versus Moxley is an intriguing matchup that I'd like to see. So I'm wondering, maybe that's where they're going with this. Because as of yet, none of the Death Riders, including Mox, have anything to do with the pay-per-view. thus far.
Yeah.
And we are 2 weeks out. So
Yeah.
get on it.
Speaking of the Death Riders, after that we got a backstage segment with the Osprey and the Death Riders training. Um, Wheeler Yuta is doing sit-ups on Will Ospreay's neck.
Yeah. Insane.
I've never seen that workout. Like we did a lot of neck strength workouts when I was training in wrestling. That's true. That is something that happens. I never did this one though. I never saw anybody do this.
I think that was the point of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
maybe
it's unorthodox. Nobody does it, and that, and then that just feeds into a later segment where they trot out Doc Samson with Will Ospreay to say, yeah, like I don't know what kind of training you're doing, but it's working. You'll be cleared probably by next week. So like it's putting over this storyline beat by having it be just the most insane neck workout I have ever seen in my entire life. He had a 200-pound man on his neck and upper back, his shoulders, doing sit-ups where all the weight was just from the sit-up, from the contortion of his body, pressing right down on Ospreay's neck.
Yeah.
Wheeler Yuta is among the smallest members of the Death Rider, but that doesn't mean that he's not 200 pounds and that it's not being concentrated on somebody's neck. I dare you to concentrate 200 pounds on your neck. Yeah, don't do it. It's not a good idea.
No.
It's really not. So that's insane to me.
Yeah. Why do I feel like this is like this transition for Jon Moxley to go from Death Rider leader to most violent llama in the world? Because you got to like climb the mountain of pro wrestling, and then Jon Moxley will see you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like he's just like the wise man at the top of the mountain who will fix you and turn you into a world champion all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Which is weird because that's not he's been the guy. They've been on like a destructive streak for like 2 years.
Furthermore, in the other segment that we've already discussed, Will Ospreay makes it very clear that he's not a Death Rider. He's just training with them.
That got answers too. Yeah, he's not a Death Rider. He never will be. His words.
His words.
Yeah.
He's just training with them.
He's just training with them. So, I mean,
I think he made it a point to say, like, Death Riders
you got to do stuff you don't want to.
The Death Riders don't seem to be just inherently altruistic. So, like,
they're not.
What's the catch?
Yeah, the other shoe has yet to drop on this.
What is the catch?
There is going to be another shoe, and it is going to drop. Like, I don't know when that's going to happen, but yeah, there's still something hanging in the air that we have yet to figure out or be privy to at this time. So yeah, we'll see what that other shoe is. I'm going to assume it's probably going to be some kind of world title shot or something, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But after that, we've got the Double Jeopardy match that they booked last week, where Orange Cassidy is facing Dax, and we were wrong.
Well, this match was weird in a couple of different ways. Number one, it turned into kind of a de facto lumberjack match out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know why they had 15 extra guys come out with everybody. That was kind of weird.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was cool seeing everybody collect a paycheck. But, like, why were the dogs accompanying FTR?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, I know they don't like the conglomeration. I guess that's probably the reason. Because they beat them for the trios titles. But, like, it was a very strange kind of thing. And then, I mean, I assumed that Dax, I mean, I was stupid for assuming it. Dax Harwood is in a singles match. Of course he's going to lose. But I thought he was actually going to win this time, because what was the point of introducing Tommaso Ciampa as their third if they weren't going to go after the trios belts at least once?
Yeah. And I still think that's
Was
going
it
to
to have
happen,
another
but
body for this de facto unannounced lumberjack match?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, like I thought the match was great. It was just everything
Oh, the
around it that
match
I
was
was
good.
very confused by and
Yeah,
didn't
I
really
I
like.
liked the match a lot.
Yeah,
There were storyline aspects of it that I was curious about.
yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't the match itself. The match was great. Dax is an underrated hand.
yeah,
Orange is always great. Uh, the it was a curious decision to have all those guys surrounding the rings, but it definitely added a lot of drama to it. It felt like there were real stakes to this
yeah,
because of all these extra guys who were clearly invested in the outcome surrounding the ring. But then the babyface goes over anyway,
yeah.
and so I'm like, I'm just kind of confused about it.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
See, here's
um,
the thing that's
maybe
getting me
it's
though.
just to sneak in another uh, another successful title defense before they drop them to Cope and Cage.
Here's the thing that's got me though. Okay,
Hmm.
Orange Cassidy won this match.
Yeah,
So who's going to be his tag partner? Because Roddy and Kyle are a tag team.
yeah. Well, they said any two members of the conglomeration.
Yeah. So is it Mark Briscoe?
Mark Briscoe has said in the past that since his brother passed, he doesn't want to do tags, straight two-man
Okay,
tags.
so maybe not.
So probably not. Big Tom isn't healthy.
No, I heard he was
Again,
injured. Yeah.
I don't know how this happened, but apparently he has a neck that got injured.
I didn't know he had a neck.
Yeah,
So I don't know
that's
how he
news to
has a
me.
neck injury.
I didn't know bowling balls had bones to begin with.
He looks like one of
But
those guys, like and complimentary. He
oh,
looks like one.
absolutely,
He
hundred
looks like
percent.
one of the dudes on Doctor Who. You know which ones I'm talking
Oh, the
about?
Centaurans, yeah,
Yeah, he looks like Centauran. Yeah, so I'm like, this
yeah,
guy doesn't have a neck,
yeah,
at all. He's just a war maker, and
yeah.
yeah,
And
so
he is.
he got a neck injury. I have no idea how that happened.
No clue.
Um,
I thought that man didn't have a neck to destroy, but
yeah, so
apparently
I
it
don't
happened.
know. I guess I don't know who
I
Orange partner will be.
Even though Orange was part of this match, I could definitely see him just giving it to Paragon because they're the established tag team and as such have a better chance of beating FTR.
Yeah, yeah. I would, but I don't know that I would want them to job to FTR though. Like, I know
I
I
don't
don't
think
want
they.
FTR to lose the tag team titles to them, but I know I don't want them
I
to
don't think they have
beaten
anything to
by FTR
lose.
either.
I don't think they have anything to lose by doing the job, especially if
I,
FTR cheat because they will.
if they cheat, that might make it better. But I just don't. I feel like having two
And
of the
they'll still be
three.
the trios
Yeah, I know
champions
they'll be the trios champions,
regardless.
but does that devalue the trios title if they job? You
No,
know,
because there's
like
not the third guy.
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
The whole point of a trio is that they're at their full strength when there's three of them,
Yeah,
not when there's two of them.
but yeah. So like, I mean, Cassidy wins. They did a whole angle where he like hurt his fist by punching the ring post, and then that kind of
Yeah,
led into everything else. I really liked Dax Harwood countering the orange punch by punching him in the hand.
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was cool, man.
Dude, I keep beating this drum, but Dax is such a smart wrestler. He's not the
Yeah,
flashiest guy in there, but his psychology is
A
so
plus,
on point.
A plus. Um, after
That's why they
that,
put. I mean, not that Cash is a bad wrestler, but that's why they keep putting Dax in these situations.
mm,
When it's usually when it's one of them, it's Dax
yeah,
because he has
yeah,
no problem putting anybody over at all
yeah.
in any fashion. In fact, I think he prefers to tap.
He won't get mad
Uh,
and wave a gun at anyone.
no,
Um,
there's that. But it's also because like his psychology is just so good. Like
he's got such great psychology.
he really, really does. I am such a fan of FTR in general and Dax in specific.
So the end of the match comes. Orange Cassidy does finally pull off an orange punch and gets the win. And then everybody that's at ringside empties into the ring, and we get this
Huge
giant
Donnybrook.
brawl.
Yep.
Huge. One of my favorite things in wrestling is huge brawls like this. However, this is where we find out why Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta were there, because somebody had to take this ass whooping.
Yeah.
And they do. They get finishers from pretty much everybody. Another excellent spear from Copeland.
Yeah.
Like, he is on a roll with excellent spears. I loved Christian Cage loading up the forearm and then kicking him in the nuts. I loved that. I loved that he acted like he was going to use that forearm weapon. Because, if somebody's wearing a cast in wrestling, that he may actually be hurt, but that's not a cast. That's a weapon.
Yeah.
We know how this works. This was a big, for those of you who are much younger than us, and maybe because it's possible now that some of our listeners have birthdays that begin with a 2 on the year.
Yeah.
In the 1980s, one of the biggest wrestling tropes was that people would get their arm broken, and then for 6 months after that, they would use that cast as an illegal weapon in the ring because nobody told them, hey, you can't wrestle with that.
Bob Orton Jr. rode that wave for 2 years.
I remember.
Owen Hart even had a stint with that.
Yeah, Owen Hart did it like that. There were other people that wore masks, and it was the same way. Cody Rhodes had a mask gimmick that was similar to that, actually.
Undashing.
Undashing, yeah.
Honestly, one of his better gimmicks.
Yeah, true. That was one of it, psychologically, one of his best, period, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they took this ass whooping, and then, everybody kind of celebrated. The good guys all celebrated while the bad guys, kind of seethed on the ramp. And then from there, we go to a little vignette about Roosh, which we will talk about later. I hear some kind of faint call, but it's still really, really far away.
It's far away.
It's very far away.
Yeah, my Merlin app hasn't picked it up yet.
Yeah. So after that, we've got we go backstage and we kind of see Jericho get beat up by the Demand from last week. Mm-hmm. And then he's backstage again with Renee Paquette. And I don't know what it is about this particular character of Jericho. Maybe it's just because he's a face, but is he not exceedingly polite?
I don't know. Maybe his gimmick is now that he's just leaning into being Canadian.
Maybe, but he's like, Renee, if I may be so bold, and then just kind of very gently takes the microphone away from her and walks out. And this is where something that we are going to talk about throughout this show starts. And the shit gets wild. I was like, at the end of this 4 hours of this week, I was like, what the hell? So, and because
it really, really snowballed very quickly.
And honestly, we touched on something like this a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about this exact thing coming, being soon in the calendar year. And we were like, what if it went bigger? And here we go. So Jericho grabs the mic from Renee and he goes out and he demands Ricochet come talk to him.
He demands the demand.
Yeah, he demands the demand. And, Ricochet comes out by himself at first. And then the demand shows up, the GOA show up. And so they come to the ring and Ricochet's, telling Jericho he's got to leave. And, he's warning him against everything. But Jericho's like, look, if you want to really make this a big deal, I'll fight you in a stadium stampede. And
the funny thing was he built this up by saying, oh, in a match that you created. And I'm thinking, the first thing I thought of was okay, well, they can't do Money in the Bank.
No.
Is he challenging him to a mimosa match? That's what I thought. I was like, a mimosa match?
That's
what are you talking about? Oh, and then he said Stadium Stampede. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, I guess he was in the first one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I consider that more of an elite creation.
Yeah, more of an elite thing, and we'll get there too.
But the second thing is, because remember, I'm going to see it in person. I'm thinking
so fucking
Stadium Stampede. But there are people there. Where are they going to hold it? It's like Anarchy in the Arena is the same thing as Stadium Stampede, except there are people in the arena, in the closed, domed-off arena. And, I mean, this isn't domed off. I think I don't know. I have never
Joe
been
Louis Stadium, or Louis Armstrong is it, who plays there?
Venue.
Oh, it's a tennis. Is this
I
not the one
think
where
so.
they do the? There's what? Don't they do a show here every year, like a big one, like one of the big 3 hour dynamites? Don't they do that? Like one of the
No, that was, oh gosh, where was that? That is also
a
in
tennis arena, right?
that's
In New
in
York,
Brooklyn.
right?
Yeah. Let me.
I
Yeah, the
swear it
first
might be this
Grand
one.
Slams
Yeah, the Grand
were
Slam. They do
there.
Grand Slams there.
Arthur
Yeah,
Ashe
Arthur
Stadium, which is
Ashe.
also
Okay,
a tennis,
okay.
also a tennis arena. But yeah, this is an open air stadium. But like it is a tennis venue, but like there are people here,
It's
and
a
like
stadium though, so it's not an arena.
I just uh, I was just my guest had been flabbered because I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Like there are people. Where are they even gonna go? Like the whole point of the Stadium Stampede was that the stadium was empty and you could go anywhere and do anything, and literally your own imagination was your only boundary. I mean, the first one had a swimming pool of reincarnation, for God's sake.
I mean, I'll just say this, man. Based on the Stadium Stampedes I've seen, I would not be surprised to see Matt or Nick Jackson take do a Tony Khan driver off your shoulders.
Yeah.
So, and let them if they ask. Okay, so
Oh, for sure, for sure. No,
I'm
it's a
sitting here
great
thinking like
advertisement for the show.
I'm sitting here thinking my man's is about to have a QR code that literally might be on TV because they might come next to you while they're fighting,
Yeah.
and that's so exciting to me. But also, the more they talked about this match over this 4 hours, the more jealous I got of you, way beyond the Okada and Takeshita thing. Because I was like, this is one of my favorite match types in AEW. I love
It's
big
so
gang
nuts.
warfare matches. I fucking love gang warfare shit. I love it. I love like war games and fucking blood and guts. I love fucking Stadium Stampede. I love Anarchy in the Arena. If it's a big like gang warfare shit, that's my shit, man. And now,
Yeah.
not only do you get that, but you also get Okada Takeshita. I'm
Yeah.
so jealous of you. So jealous. The green monster is alive and well in here, okay? Like he's gnarly right now. He's like this lucky motherfucker. But at the same time, there is no hate in that. I'm just so jealous because like I'm totally gonna be watching.
Oh
But
yeah.
I really wish I could be there. But so Jericho says we're gonna do a stadium stampede. Craziest part about this at this point is that there's only 3 of one team and Jericho has no team at all.
Yeah.
Now, I thought immediately, of course, Hurt Syndicate's going to be involved in this. Of course they are.
They hate the demand more
Because
than
they
anybody.
hate the demand more than probably. I mean, they don't. I'm sure they don't like Jericho at all, but they hate the demand. So that's enough. And then they showed up. So that bore that out to me that it was going to be at least this 3-on-3, even after Jericho said, if I can't find a single partner, I'll fight you. And for some reason, I was totally like in on the 1v5 premise. I was like, because at
That
that
is
point, I
actually
would.
kind of an interesting premise.
Well, because I knew that if there was another 4 that showed up, because of course another 4 people would show up, but that it would be like
A surprise that you held out to the end of the show. Yeah.
every one of them would be a surprise. Every one of the 4. However, I was fucking surprised later
Oh
on.
yeah. Me too.
So he says he'll fight him by himself. They go ahead and start whooping his ass because Chris Jericho is the guy who gets his ass beat by the demand every week that he shows up.
Yep. It's on the t-shirt.
And then Hurt Syndicate makes the save. And my favorite part of this was that Jericho ended up with Ricochet's hat.
Yeah.
And it looked so ridiculous on him. I was laughing. I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. Like, because he looks like somebody's dad putting their hat on and going, do I look good? You know?
It was a total dad moment for sure.
It was. But so that's what we got. We've got Stadium Stampede, and right now, as we're talking about this, we'll get more into it. But right now, it's GOA and Ricochet versus Hurt Syndicate and Jericho. And
yeah,
MVP is going to hit somebody with a cane. So MVP too. Let's just go ahead and throw him in there. He might not be in the match, but somebody's definitely catching a cane. Yeah, definitely.
There's no DQs in this match.
Yeah, no DQs in this match. And MVP likes to hurt fools too. So yeah. After that, we got like the craziest, horniest segment of the night. not in a weird, the people on screen were acting that way, but the response I saw from it, some of y'all need to
Jeez,
calm down. Jeez Louise.
yeah,
Uh,
for real. Like, I know Blue Sky is horny, like
but
pretty much
gosh,
all the time.
guys,
But wow, guys,
guys. I mean, I also
and
appreciated the segment, but come on. All right. Like,
I mean, it was. I mean, to be fair, Blue Sky. I can't speak for Twitter or Instagram or
I can't
Threads or
either.
whatever,
Yeah.
but at least for the Wrestle Sky community, at least the horniness was like, yes, girl on girl for their own sake.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like,
It wasn't voyeuristic so much as like, oh yeah, good for them. Like you know,
yeah. Yeah.
like it kind of came from a good place, but it's still, I mean, you're
Still
still
like,
acting horny on main, guys.
yeah, guys, like you got to get a burner for that. Come on. And don't tag Wrestle Sky in it.
For real.
Like, look,
I mean,
guys,
apparently the
people just don't know how to be perverts on the internet
reaction to
anymore.
this was less positive and less supportive on other social media
Yeah, but those people are,
because it prompted Harley to say, "Look, um, I don't know if you've seen me wrestle, but I wear less than I showed in that segment.
that's
We
true.
wrestle in bras essentially.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what y'all are going on about." And that, for the record, that's a very Australian thing. They're very, very comfortable
Yeah.
with their bodies down
Yeah.
under.
Well,
Very comfortable.
so first of all, I wasn't offended by this as a parent, even if I had young kids, like she was covered up the same as a bikini or her wrestling gear covers her up. So
Yeah.
I wasn't offended by this. I actually was so fucking happy.
Yeah.
And not because of the boobies. That wasn't what made me happy. What made me happy is that Mina came in and was like, you gotta like, listen to your heart, and then like ripped her shirt open, and somehow that snapped Harley out of this funk she's been in that we've been so
Yeah.
down on, and brought back the wrath. And that made me so happy because I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're not gonna have to sit here and watch her, sulk for 10 more weeks until we figure out where she's going creatively. Here we are. And
Yeah.
then,
Happy Harley's back.
yeah, and Happy Harley's back right there. And I can't wait to talk about this match because I have so much good shit to say about this match.
Mm.
But that's not right now. But this, I loved this just for that. Like people like, oh, you only liked it for the movie. No, I liked it because Mina Shirakawa snapped Harley Cameron out of her fucking funk. And that's what we
Yeah.
want. We all love Happy Harley. We love like puppets and like, I'm sorry, fucking call me not a real wrestling fan if you want to, you fucking dickweeds who might do that. I love like puppet slinging, joke doing, guitar strumming Harley. I fucking love her.
She's
So
so talented in so many different arenas.
yeah,
Like it's nice to see the idea of her coming around and being happy again. And hopefully that means that she's featured more often.
I hope so too.
I think that like the reason that this worked for me was because not only the return of Happy Harley, but it was like this was, if this kind of thing had happened under the WWE umbrella, it would have been obviously more exploitative.
Oh, way
Whereas this was, you got the feeling that like this was their idea. It's like, yeah, no, let's do this
This
because
was
it'll
like,
be funny, but it'll also get our point across, and it will go to show that this was completely consensual.
well,
Like
they got their
this,
point across for sure.
this did not come off as creepy or exploitative at all.
No, mainly because unlike WWE TKO, like there was no dudes involved in this. They would have somehow shoehorned
Yeah.
a dude into that on the other side.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that
and
would have made it creepy.
Renee's face too.
Yeah, Renee
Can we
was
talk
like,
about Renee's face?
Renee,
Renee is such a gold mine.
dude, she's great.
Like
Renee's
one
great.
of the low key, one of the best signings they ever made was getting Renee
I still think she's
and
the big
letting
bad
her
of
be
AEW,
herself,
but yeah,
and letting her be herself, and not. I mean, she's still a professional, but
Yeah.
she is far more personality here and is far more relaxed in AEW than she was in WWE.
yeah. I feel like she just seems happier, and I love that. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
now so I mean, the great segment. Can't wait to talk about the match a little bit later, and we will. We'll get a little bit more into this at the match, because it was good. But after that, we have something that really surprised me because I didn't know this was coming. Because I don't know if they promoted this beforehand, but I didn't see any card before I
It
watched
was
Dynamite this
announced
week.
the day of.
Okay. But we have Kazuchika Okada defending his international championship against Brian Keith. Hey, Brian Keith. I was super happy to see Brian Keith. I know I was a little sad that we didn't see Big Bill with him. But I guess he's part of a different stable in ROH now called Paid in Full. I don't know who that is.
I thought that was just the name of their tag team. They finally figured out a name.
Oh, is that? Oh, is him? Oh, is that
I
him
think
and Brad?
so, yeah.
Okay. So I didn't know. I hadn't seen either of them in a while, so I was kind of wondering what happened to them. I was actually wondering at one point, like last week or a couple weeks ago, when they did the thing where Jericho had to find two people that just didn't like the demand more than they didn't like him, that it might be these two. I was cool with it being the Hurt Syndicate, but I thought it might be these guys, honestly. But maybe Tony Khan's doing the smart thing and not really revisiting the learning tree because that's not
probably
really
for the best.
Not a gimmick anybody really wants to revisit. So, but yeah, I thought this was a really good match, man. Brian Keith is a fantastic fucking wrestler. He really is.
Yeah, he is. And the only bad thing I have to say about this match was Brian Keith needed to get the Coming of America haircut.
Dude,
get rid
what
of that tail,
the
bro.
F with that, dude? Oh my god.
Get rid of the tail. It's so bad.
When his hat came off and they just had because they were just showing him front on, I was like, oh, he cut his hair. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that looked great.
And then he turned around and I was like, that's definitely a choice. And it's off center too, which bothers the fuck out of me. I'm sorry guys, but if I have any kind of weird mental spicy that I have been undiagnosed with, it definitely includes things being off center, being a bugaboo. All right. I don't know what it is about non-symmetry like that, but that shit drives me crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
And I love Brian Keith, and so I'm not going to not love him because of his hairstyle, but bro, get rid of that rat tail. Okay.
Yeah. Get rid of it, bro.
Get rid of it.
That said, that was the only bad thing I had to say about this. Brian Keith looks really competitive. Headbutts galore. I like that he tried for the exploder 3 times before he got it. Rule of threes. I'm a sucker for rules of 3. I like that Keith got this spot because it's so obvious that his whole presentation, despite being an old-timey Western bounty hunter, he's a Puro guy.
Oh,
he's
for
very
sure.
Japanese coded.
Oh yeah.
He's very pro coded.
Oh yeah. He probably saw this card and was like, I love this. Like
the Tiger Driver. Oh yeah, baby. Give it to me all day.
Yeah, all day.
Like this was a fantastic outing for Brian Keith. I don't think he loses anything by losing. I know he's lower card anyway, position wise, and he doesn't really have much to lose, but I feel like he took that attitude, made the best of it, and maximized his minutes. Good for him.
He maximized the fuck out of his minutes on this match. And this honestly is, if it wasn't for the damn main event, this would have been my match of the week. It really would have. It's a very close number 2. And yes, for those of you who were listening last week, it is partially because of the Tiger Drive. But also this was just so good. It was so good. And like when I finished watching this, I was like, damn, Knight and Darby are going to have to go fucking hard. And we'll talk about that later. The only thing that I wasn't so high on this match, and I'm not negative to it because I'm very interested in how this is going to go, but Okada said after the match that he's coming for the world title. And while I do expect that of him at some point, because it's Kazuchika Okada, I'm kind of torn on this one because it's like, I know, unless Tony Khan pulls a fast one on us, that Darby Allin is going to walk into Double or Nothing as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. But I've seen a lot of people on Blue Sky being like, Darby beating Okada? And
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
not going to say they're making a bad point because I understand their point.
Yeah,
But also, I understand the plan. And I'm like, beating Okada could really, and I believe it, Mike is the one who vocalized this first that kind of put it in my head. But beating Okada could turn this into an epic title reign, like a
yeah.
really
I mean,
epic title reign. It's
think
already
about
really
this.
good.
Think about this. This episode of Dynamite, then the Saturday Fairway to Hell Collision, and the next episode of Dynamite has 3 title defenses inside of a week
Yeah.
or 8 days, but you know what I mean.
And one of them is
Like
Kazuchika Okada.
one of them, yeah, and like, pardon me, it's clear to me that TK loves Darby and especially loves his loyalty and wants to uh, reward him for that, but it's not the plan for All In.
Yeah.
It's not the plan for All In. So if he's going to get the most out of a very short, possibly only Darby Allin title reign, pack as much in there as possible to make it mean as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
then
100% agree with that mentality.
yeah. Now this is going to change up a little bit later, and I'm still not sure
Unforeseen
why.
circumstances.
But
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it more when we get there. After that, we've got Andrade. Basically doing a backstage thing with Andrade, talking about how he wants the world title also, and I guess now he is also the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm.
When did that
he
happen?
beat Yoda. He beat Yoda Tsuji a few days before that. It was like the Saturday beforehand.
Like Andrade, bro, you don't need the AEW World Title. You're the IWGP Global Champion. Why, bro?
Well, I mean, the global championship is weird because like global means world, right?
Yeah,
But it's not their top belt. It
that's
was
weird.
born out of the death of the United States Championship. Because
I like the belt though. It's nice.
Because oh yeah, the belt looks good. Because I believe it was David Finlay. Will Ospreay was the champion at the time, and he was walking around with a custom belt that was United Kingdom Championship
Yeah,
belt, which also looks really rad.
yeah,
Dude, that belt designs, both the U.S. version and the U.K. version were great.
yeah,
But David Finlay was, it was him and Ospreay and somebody else in that feud. I read about it, but Finlay was like, "Nah, I don't want either of these, the United States title or the UK belt because both of those countries rejected me because I'm not like 100% part of that. So I want something that's more representative of everything." So out of the ashes of that, I think they vacated the belt and then had a 3-way match for the global title that was born out of that whole fracas.
yeah.
And Finlay won. So he was the first global champion. But like I said, it's weird. Global means world. Like it's literally physically the world. It's the globe. But like it's not their top title.
Yeah.
The IWGP now simply heavyweight title is.
Yeah.
It's not even the world heavyweight anymore. It's just the heavyweight.
Yeah.
I'm not part of the new Jahadeen, so to speak. So it's not like I keep tabs on. I didn't come up with the phrase. I just see it online.
That's the best stuff.
But I only keep kind of like really, really light tabs on it. But I know that when Yoda Tsuji won at Wrestle Kingdom, he split the world title into the heavyweight, and he was the global champion, I guess. And the global title, he brought back the nice looking belt for the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
And he's running this gimmick where he like really resents all these outside guys coming into New Japan. Mm-hmm. So he wouldn't defend the IWGP heavyweight title against anybody that wasn't a contracted New Japan guy. And
Mm.
then the global championship was the one that he would defend against people from outside. And that's why he was in a match with Andrade to begin with, because even though he's contracted, he's really kind of an outside guy.
Yeah.
So he lost the global title to him, whereas he lost the heavyweight title earlier to what's his face, Ospreay's buddy, Callum Newman.
Callum Newman, yeah. Who
And
I'd never heard of until he won the IWGP World
Yeah,
title.
well, he's 23. He's not been around for long enough for you to have heard of him.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I thought the title looks cool. I'm like, hey, yeah, Andrade's got a title in New Japan, and he's also coming for the world title. But I mean, I imagine you'll fit in there somewhere, dude. But I'm having a hard time figuring out where.
Mention, and commentary would mention this again earlier, but I noticed it in the moment. Don Callis in this segment didn't even mention that Andrade won the global title. He had the belt on his shoulder in the segment. Didn't even acknowledge it. He was going down all these other guys' creds. Didn't even acknowledge Andrade.
Yeah.
While the split, I imagine that Takeshita will split from the Don Callis family over Don Callis is taking Okada's side specifically as an active choice. I have a feeling that when Andrade goes, it will be because of passive choices, that it'll be because of neglect more than anything.
Yeah. After that, we've got Speedball and Kevin Knight with a little promo. First of all, I'm just going to say this. I don't like anybody but Becky calling themselves two belts.
Yeah.
I don't like the two belts thing. We've talked many times on this show about how we don't really like double champions. The Jet two belts thing, to this point, he had said it so many times. I was like, dude, famous last words. I know this ain't happening. But also just the nature of like, okay, we're getting like announced matches with like Darby and stuff like that. He's not winning tonight. We've already announced matches for the next show.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not winning. So,
the unpredictable thing came when Darby happens to win the belt on an episode of Dynamite.
Yeah. After a pay-per-view.
After a pay-per-view where the title was defended successfully.
Yeah.
Against Kenny Omega.
Right.
That was the unpredictable part. That's successfully, for some people, weighing down the idea that the opportunity for more unpredictability is there, but no.
Yeah.
That's a red herring.
Right.
That's a red herring. We're getting Darby versus MJF at the title at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. And maybe a bald MJF.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. So after that, we've got the ops backstage. It's just Shibata, Bowens, and Joe. Where the hook just disappeared, huh?
Joe would explain he's off shooting a movie.
Oh yeah, he is off shooting a movie. Yeah, he did say that.
I kind of find that hard to believe, but
yeah. But I mean, what character is he playing? You know, background silent guy number 4.
Idea.
So this is Joe is basically, you know, like, I don't know, like it just seems like Joe is just really butthurt that Will Ospreay didn't come to him instead of the Death Riders. But like, just because you saved him, quote unquote, you didn't actually save him.
Yeah.
John Moxley still stomped on his neck with a chair wrapped around it. You didn't really save him, Joe. In fact, I'm pretty sure that same night you also got your neck stomped with a chair wrapped around it. So, like, of course he didn't pick you. He picked the guy who did that to both of you. You know, he picked the group of people who did that to both of you guys. He picked the group that is like, if the ops want to be bad guys, you're the number 3 faction tops and probably number 4 behind GOA in them. So like, it just, I don't know. Like, I want the ops to do something, but I don't know what the shoe is here with the Will Ospreay thing. Maybe it's just going to be him and Ospreay for the title at some point, but like, I don't know what's happening here just quite yet, but there's 4 members of the Ops, and there's a plethora of Death Riders and Will Ospreay. So like more gang warfare stuff. Hey, I'm all for that. But at the same time, I'm also like, this just, I don't know. Like, I would prefer them to get on the Anthony Bowens thing more.
Yeah.
Like start having matches where he's a member of the Ops and he's a killer and all that good stuff. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm this is one of those ones where like we're kind of at the early stages of what's happening with these particular people, and I'm just kind of waiting to see how it develops to know whether I like this part of it or not. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not making a determination right now off these 2 promos from Joe. Like it's just not enough. Mostly because there's been no action. Like it's just a couple of
Yeah.
promos where he seems like he's butthurt that Will picked a different dad. You know, like so.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it develop. Look, like I said, I think it's going to wind up as Samoa Joe versus Will Ospreay at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Where if you want to put over this situation and this storyline with Will Ospreay, he needs to go over. So, I mean, if he loses after this new training and whatever like that, it kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So we'll see how all this goes. After that, we've got our tag team match with Shida and Statlander versus Shirakawa and Harley Cameron. This was like one of Harley's best matches ever.
yeah, she's really, really come into her own.
Man, it was good.
As an in-ring performer. She's, all that dedication is absolutely paying off for her.
100%. The other 3 are great hands in the ring. They're established great hands in the ring, but this is probably the best Harley Cameron match ever. She really kicked some ass here. Like
I will say probably her match with Mercedes at Grand Slam Australia was
it was very good.
Better, but this is real close.
Yeah,
this is real close.
She put on a hell of a performance here, despite them, taking a loss in the end.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good.
That said, didn't stop Harley from being the one looking at the lights in this one.
Yeah, Harley did take the pin here on this one after a Falcon. Statlander took out Harley with the boot when Harley was going to do her finisher on Shida. And then Shida picked her up and nailed her with a Falcon Arrow because Stat was like, hey, you do it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of still waiting on the other shoe to drop with Shida and Statlander because I don't feel like that tag team is long for this world. Despite them picking up wins over and over again, I don't think that it's long for this world. There's got to be like the other. There's just so many
what's
other
the end game here.
Yeah, there's so many left feet in the air in AEW right now that I'm like, when is this gonna happen, or when is this gonna happen? Like, what's next? And I mean, I'm cool with not knowing and being anticipative of that stuff, but at the same time, it's like hard to make a determination until the story is and like if I can't tell you how chapter 1 was until I get to the end of it.
Yeah.
So do I like what's going on? Heck yeah, this match was awesome. Do I think they're going to keep being a tag team and maybe win the tag title? No, actually, I don't. I think that other shoe is going to drop before that happens, but to be determined, After that, we see Swerve again. And he's in a vignette with Prince Nana talking about how, he's coming after power and he wants to control who eats and sleeps.
Yeah, this didn't really hit for me. It wasn't a good enough explanation for why he's targeting Bandito specifically.
Yeah, I don't feel like I don't feel like I understand it any better.
Yeah.
And then even after Bandito and Brody did their promo immediately after, I still didn't really understand why Swerve is targeting Bandito. I mean, you want power, but you're on the main roster of AEW. Why would you want Bandito's ROH World title?
Which he didn't even mention.
Yeah. Neither of them mentioned. The only reason we still know Bandito was the ROH World Champion is because he was wearing the title.
Yeah.
But like but and now we know, Brody King's gonna get involved in it, but that actually, knowing that Brody King was gonna get involved in it because that's his friend and you need to leave his friend alone, Swerve, that actually felt like, to me, it lends some credence to your theory that maybe Leo Rush is gonna be Swerve's little herald dude. Because
attack
somebody,
dog.
yeah, somebody's gonna have to be there to balance it out, and it's not Nana, so.
And Leo did have that match with Brody.
Yeah. So like, I feel like we might be actually closer to what you were saying, but still, that's also still kind of to be determined.
Yeah.
How that's going. So a lot of open-ended things going on in AEW right now that I don't really have a judgment on because we're not done. And I am not going to tell you, this was an A+ story until I know where the story goes.
Yep, we've got 2 more Dynamites and 2 more Collisions before the pay-per-view.
So this to me is just further proof that all those people that say AEW doesn't have stories, they have tons right now. We're just not we're not the end of them. We're not like in the so I'm sorry WWE introduces something to you on Monday and then concludes it on Friday. I'm sorry that happens. Okay. That's not how AEW works. Tony Khan is obviously a fan of the long game. Yeah. And he's pretty fucking good at it. Okay. So we got a lot of long game storylines going on right now where we just don't really know where they're going yet.
Yeah, a lot of them probably our natural impatience is our own issue.
Yeah,
that we have to deal with.
Yeah,
it's not Tony Khan's fault that we've been conditioned, not just by our previous WWE fandom, but also by American culture in general, to just want things now. Mm-hmm. That's not our. That's not his fault. And it's not our fault that we've been conditioned to think like that. It is our responsibility to be aware of it and to combat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, we'll see where these stories go. There's lots of stories, though, lots of long-term stuff. And we don't know how any of them actually intertwine either, because Tony Khan's really good at making stuff cross paths with one another too. So
yeah.
Just, and he takes the lore into account and all that. And there's just so much that probably goes into it. And it usually turns out good. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see on a lot of these.
That brings us to the main event.
Main event for Dynamite. My match of the week, 100% off Hawk.
Yeah, this probably the best pure just wrestling match that Darby Allin's probably going to have in this reign.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to Wednesday yet, though.
Yeah.
Wednesday's got lots of possibilities.
Yeah.
So maybe that eclipses this, but this was really, really good, punctuated by just absolute insanity.
Yeah, it was
that.
Oh my god,
that freaking springboard from Kevin Knight to the outside, flying springboard lariat from the top to Darby on the outside while he's on a table.
It was so wild, dude.
I can't even believe that not only did he make it, but he made it easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
I need
literally
RVD.
Nonsensical.
I need RVD to co-sign that Van Terminator immediately.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, sorry, Shane. The best coast to coast of the business belongs to Kevin Knight.
Yeah, he doesn't need a weapon in the way.
No weapon at all. I just put him in the tree of woe and got there. Holy crap. He was there too. It wasn't oh man, his feet barely touched his forehead, but we're going to act like it was devastating, or, oh, he just toe tapped it. No, Kevin Knight still had room to extend when he got there. That was fucking crazy. This dude's lack of gravitational pull is fucking insanity. Okay. And this comes from people who have been I've been watching wrestling since people started getting called the man that gravity forgot and shit like that. And the way Kevin Knight ignores gravity is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. It's optional for him.
Yeah.
He could turn gravity off. He's got the dimmer switch on gravity.
Apparently he does.
He just tweaks it a little bit.
Yeah.
And makes Gravidad mad.
It's freaking insanity, dude. Like
Yeah,
I just I loved this match so much. I
yeah.
did.
This
I thought the
is really
psychology was
good.
really good. Like it wasn't just a couple of guys going and throwing it all out there because the way
It
they
started
paced
with
it.
mat wrestling.
Yeah, I thought it was going to end up being a Tekker match. That first 5 minutes was straight up Tech. I was like, this is great. I didn't even know Darby Allin could do Tekker.
Darby is an underrated mat wrestler.
I did
He
not
really is.
know that he could do Tekker,
He
and he
shows it
can.
every now and then, but it's not like the prime
I don't think he's ever done
Darby Allin.
a 5 minute match opening of straight Tech, and that's what this was. Like they were really like exchanging
Even the
holds
end
back and forth.
was techie. Like Allen came back with a guillotine choke towards the end to set him up for the coffin drop.
Yeah,
Like
that
it's
that hanging coffin drop where he was like hanging off the top rope, like leaned down,
yeah,
was
just
fucking
so
cool. I
stupid.
thought it was cool. It was
It's so
stupid, but it was
good.
so cool.
It's so
Like
good.
so I thought it was great. I really enjoyed after the match Sting kind of giving them both the rub, like he
Yeah,
picked up Kevin
yeah.
Knight and was like, no, this guy's great, like
That's why Sting's the best because he's
Sting is
so
so good.
gracious
No,
all the
I
time.
love that. I love that so much. A cosign from Sting is going to be a valuable thing in the wrestling industry until the day that man dies. And
Yep.
probably, and anybody who's been co-signed by him before he dies is going to be able to ride that for as long as they fucking want to. He's one of the few people that like can literally be like, this guy's awesome, and that's just the way shit is now.
Yep.
So, and the fact that he
100%
co-signed Kevin Knight,
co-signed.
give
Yeah.
him that rub, that's great. That's great. I don't want to see Kevin Knight AEW World Champion right now. I don't. I do
He
want to
doesn't
see
need to
him be world champion someday, but
Yeah.
not this year. Even I really want to see where he goes from here as TNT champion because I think he
Yeah.
could bring a workhorse aspect back to that title, or at least continue on what Kyle Fletcher was trying to rebuild in that title after the multiple switches and all that until Kyle got it back. I feel like Kevin Knight can raise the value of that title just like Fletcher was, and let's see where it goes from there. Keep it on him for a bit. Keep it on until Kyle gets back and have him go get like that'd be a great feud. So
Yeah.
I just don't know how long he's going to be out. So maybe it may not be feasible. But we'll see. Because I mean, if Kyle's gone for a year, Kevin Knight could run out of opponents. let's just be real.
Yeah, for the record.
But after that,
That's when Collision starts.
that's when Collision starts and MJF's music hits, and
Mhm.
he's coming down to the ring to
MJF who's never a part of Collision.
Yeah, he was on Collision. Holy crap!
He was on Collision. I mean, he is, but like, I mean,
Yeah, it's still kind of Dynamite.
There's an asterisk there.
Yeah, but he once again demands his rematch, which all of us who watch AEW know MJF, and I know you also know this, MJF. Y'all don't do rematches over there. That's not a guaranteed thing in AEW. You do not just get a rematch because you were the champion. That's not how it works. It's never worked that way.
WWE trope.
That's a WWE thing. We don't do that over here. So Darby, of course, in this context, is free to say no, and he does. So MJ, he's like, if you want a shot, you got to put something up.
I loved the escalation here.
I did too. I really did because
it started out as
bullshit.
a joke.
Yeah.
It started out with a joke. Then it teased us by saying, "Ooh, the Dynamite Diamond ring." Okay, there's some juice there because he wins with that all the time. So to be able to put that up and lose that could actually force him to grow as a character because he doesn't have that crutch to lean on.
I kind of wanted this part to be the one that he bid on, though, because I thought it would be hilarious if Darby did what, who was it in Buffalo?
Danny Garcia.
Yeah, I thought it would be hilarious that if he did the same thing Danny Garcia did and like went back to Portland and pawned it.
Yeah.
And then like that could just be a continual story. Like people keep winning the diamond ring from MJF and then pawning it because they don't fucking want the thing. And then MJF makes them trek to wherever it is, finds the ring and buys it back so that he can continue winning with it, which I thought would have been great. But the escalation we went to from this point, I think is very interesting.
Because he went to $1 million.
Yeah. And I was like,
It's like,
man.
ooh,
And
all
Darby
right.
is like, I was homeless. I don't give a fuck. Like, your money's no good here, is what he said.
Yeah.
But the underlying context was, I do not give a shit about your $1 million. And everybody in the arena, guaranteed, anybody who thought about it at the time, the thought was, I'm pretty sure he makes more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, between merch and I mean Tony Khan, like Tony Khan probably put $1 million into putting him on the top of Everest. Okay, let's just
Well, not only that, but like, I mean, there is that, but like, that's over the course of a year. This would be
yeah,
$1 million in one shot.
yeah. But this is a guy who was homeless for the
It's not
wrestling
nothing.
business. He loved the wrestling
Yeah.
business so much that he pulled a Mick Foley and lived in his car and under a bridge and ate fucking peanut butter sandwiches so he could wrestle.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he doesn't give a shit about your $1 million, and I thought that was great. And here's where we escalated again, but it's Alan escalating it. And so he says he wants something MJF is really in love with, something he loves,
Yeah.
something that he's desperate to hold on to, something that he would
He went to
fly
Turkey to
15
get.
hours to Turkey to get. And we all know as soon as he said that, he means MJF's hair.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, okay? Bald MJF intrigues the fuck out of me. But would MJF shave his head after all the stuff he's gone through to ensure that he keeps his hair? And that makes what's probably going to be the main event of Double or Nothing very, very unpredictable to me. Because is MJF dedicated enough to the wrestling business to cut his hair? I believe the answer is yes. But would he also say, dude, I spent so much money on this fucking hair, I'm really not going to shave it off, and he's going to win this match? Also possible. I can't predict this one, man. I can't.
Here's how I look at it. I understand, especially in Mexico, the importance of a lucha de apuesta and how much hair is supposed to mean. That said, and God bless MJF for selling this like crazy.
Oh yeah.
But to me, it was like the escalation was great, and then it kind of just like I don't know, like hair grows back, man. Like,
does MJF's hair grow back though? That's the thing. He's got hair transplant that's got sewn into his skull or whatever. Like that might not actually grow back.
I don't know the science behind it, but I do know that the dude isn't 30 yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, it's not as compelling as the Dynamite Diamond Ring, even really. This is, and not the idea of putting the Diamond Ring on the line, of giving it up all together as the way that you buy. This is the cost for you to get this match. You have to give up the Diamond Ring entirely.
Yeah. That
to me is like, ooh, that's compelling because of how often he uses it.
Yeah. It's a little bit more compelling, but also I think what what they're leaning on real hard in this story is that MJF is a vain and egotistical individual, and Darby is none of those things. And so that's kind of the thing they have to play on, that's the difference between the two of them.
That is compelling, but I don't have faith that they would pull the trigger on the interesting option and actually have him lose his hair.
Yeah, I don't know that they would have him lose his hair. Darby doesn't have something like a mask to give up. It's just a title. And I know it's the world title, but it's still just a title. Like, I respect a wrestler whether they have that or not. Darby's not going to lose anything when he loses that title. His reign, short as it has been at this point, it has been fantastic.
Status. I honestly think it's probably legendary. It will become looked upon and seen as legendary a title reign in its own right as Orange Cassidy's first international title reign.
Yeah, I believe so.
Like, it will be spoken of in the same reverent tones.
Yeah.
Like, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that was great. This was a good time to be a wrestling fan, et cetera, et cetera. I
Yeah.
really think it's going to be held in uh, that same level of esteem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, that said, I think it ends at Double or Nothing, and I don't think that the hair on the line really it I know what they're trying to do, but it's not convinced me. The thing is, they refuse to do the interesting thing with MJF and have him confront himself.
Yeah.
He refuses to do so.
Yeah.
Anytime that that he's forced to confront who he is, he runs away. He
Yeah.
says he's going to come back different, bigger, faster, stronger, whatever. He comes back the same. He doesn't learn anything.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't think that like even
If
if
he
we
were
do
to
get that
lose this
storyline
match,
eventually,
if
I
he
don't.
were to lose this match, lose his hair, and that's the first step towards him learning and growing as a person, which I've been beating the drum for months now, then I would be excited for it. I would be like, yes, give it to me. Not because I need to see him bald, but because that's an interesting direction you can take his character.
Yeah.
And there are possibilities there. But I think it's just stakes for the sake of stakes. I don't think they're going to go through with it.
No.
I think that Darby isn't here for a long time. He's here for a good time.
Yeah.
And he's going to drop that belt right back to MJF in front of my face in Queens.
See, I don't think this is where MJF has to confront himself and the bald thing and all that. Like, I don't think this is where it happens. And the reason being is because MJF, I believe, is going to be the big bad that Will Ospreay gets his belt off of.
I think you're right.
And
I think
I
you're
think
right.
that we're going to have to at least live with MJF being an egotistical prick and not confronting himself
Yeah.
until he loses the belt to Will Ospreay after All In. And then after
You're
that,
probably right.
plans are open and we can move into that with MJF and
There
create a
are-
new big bad.
Yeah,
know.
there are a couple of other viable options in
Yeah.
that spot, but I think MJF not only makes the most sense, but is the best option out of them.
Yeah. Especially
If
with
you
the
want
four
to-
and he can garner in a place like Wembley.
Oh yeah,
Because you know he's going to wear like the
it's-
red, white, and blue trunks.
It's a
You know he will.
hometown hero situation that they're crowning as the world champion.
Yeah.
It's probably best to go the traditional route and have the guy face the vilest heel in the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you can argue Swerve Strickland, but it's MJF. It's MJF.
Nope. I think we're headed for probably also at Wembley is going to be a hell of a banger between Swerve and Bandito, and I'm here for that. So
Yeah, I mean, the match will be good. I still don't know why it's happening.
I don't know why it's happening, but if
I'm okay with it.
I know the match is
happening
going to
for
be
the
good.
sake of it,
Yeah.
but I think it would be made better if the motivation were a little bit more clear.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have one theory, but I haven't really fleshed it out enough to talk about it yet.
Yeah.
And I have to see some more first to see, if it's even feasible. After this, though, MJF leaves, and then Okada shows up immediately. He comes to the ring, and he's like, next week, you and me for your AEW world title. And he doesn't call Darby Allin a bitch. Darby Allin grabs the mic from him and says, it's on, bitch, and slams the mic back into his chest.
This was a match that was supposed to happen in the Continental Classic that didn't happen when Darby Allin got injured in his first match of the tournament against Kevin Knight.
Yeah.
So TK, this fulfills two things for TK. Number one, the idea of Okada finally facing Darby gets that match that he really wants to see out of the way. He gets to see what that looks like. And also, man, that's a feather in Darby's cap, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
This is the guy you're talking about, Kazuchika Okada, the most dominant champion New Japan professional wrestling has ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. The
guy who has
Ichiban Japanese wrestler for sure. Like
the guy
number one. Like
who came into this company a little over 2 years ago, won the Continental title about 3 weeks into his tenure, and has not been beltless of any kind since that day.
And has been double champion like 2 or 3 times during that reign, too. Yeah.
It's kind of nuts.
It is kind of nuts.
So if anybody, in kayfabe terms, if anybody has a case as the number 1 contender for the world title, it's Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah.
If you want to talk purely in kayfabe terms, he is the obvious choice. 100%.
Yeah.
So like, you're no disrespect to Tommaso Ciampa or Brody King or Kevin Knight or even Pac for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
But Okada's the guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's the guy, man. So you want to put your if he's gonna lose to MJF at Double or Nothing, you want to put a pretty little bow on this short little all brakes no or all gas no brakes title this title reign. You end it with a successful defense against Kazuchika Okada of all people. Yeah, that cements it as an all-timer reign. Short as it is.
Yeah, it does. So he accepts the match with Okada. We go to a commercial, come back, and Renee Paquette is backstage with Will Ospreay, and we've already kind of talked about this. Where this is where Ospreay says, "I'm not a Death Rider. I'll never be a Death Rider." They're like, "Whatever you're doing's working." Tongue-in-cheek Doc Samson shit. So we've already kind of gone over this, but this is where that happened. We wanted to, sometimes we will do this, and you'll probably notice if you've listened for a while, if we see something that just could go together like that, we just do that. But we've already kind of gone over this. After that, though, this is something I kind of want to talk about, because as short as this was, I thought this was a really good match between Speedball and AR Fox. And why does AR Fox look so much bigger than the last time we saw him? He looks like he jacked. Ate him. Like, dude, like
he's always been in really good shape. He's always been cut. This dude looks enormous now.
Yeah, way big. It's like I felt like because for a few minutes here during this little period, like after the Will Ospreay promo, my dogs were being really loud, so I couldn't hear. Like they were barking at something outside. I'm not sure what it was. I think we got a possum around here or something. Actually, I know I have a possum living under my house, and I don't bother it. But the dogs get freaked out by it sometimes. Yeah, they eat the ticks, exactly. And there's lots of those here in Texas, and I don't want Lyme disease, so I leave them alone.
No, but bad time.
But I didn't catch that it was AR Fox that he was wrestling. And if I had, I would have been way more excited when I started watching this match, because I was like, because I love AR Fox. He's the first ROH match I ever saw featured AR Fox. And it got me into ROH because he was so flipping good.
Yeah, and, literally.
But when I first looked at the screen, I thought he was wrestling Big Shotty because of how much bigger AR Fox is now than he was last time I saw him. I thought that was Lee Johnson for a second. And then I was like, wait a minute. No, that's AR. Holy shit, that's AR Fox.
Yeah, AR Fox is quite a bit taller than Shotty Lee is.
Yeah, but he's got like a cut up, like built ass, like Shotty Lee Johnson type body now compared to, I mean, he was always in good shape. You're right. But he was kind of a smaller fella, like he was a medium.
Yeah, he was tall but lanky.
Yeah, but now he's very much as wide as he is tall, and we'll put it that way. Like he's as thick as he is tall, and all the better. This match, as for the 2 or 3 minutes that it lasted or whatever, was freaking fun.
Yeah, you want to talk about all gas, no brakes. That's this match.
Dude, this match went balls to the wall, and I enjoyed every freaking second of it, and I need more of this.
Yeah.
I need more.
I thought it was funny because, we talked last week about how ever since Kevin Knight won the TNT title, Speedball was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and here he is.
The four corners. And then here he shows up.
Yeah.
And then also against AR Fox, who hasn't been on AEW TV in forever because he's been doing ROH stuff for a while, but he hadn't been on AEW for a long time.
Well, I thought
And
he had been like injured and hadn't been like he hadn't been.
yeah, I
I thought
don't
this was his
remember.
actual. I think this might have actually been his return from injury because he hadn't been around for a
Maybe
while. I don't think he's even been
I
in ROH for a while.
I don't recall.
I don't know.
I
I don't watch
wish I
ROH,
had
so I'm
more on
not
that.
sure. But I think this was an injury
Yeah.
return. I think Excalibur might have said something about that during the match, but like I said, my dogs are being so fucking loud for like this 5 minutes right here, and it made me
Yeah,
mad that I didn't get the audio. But the match was freaking awesome, so much
yeah, it
so
was
that I got
great.
so drawn into this 5 minute segment here that I forgot my dogs were barking. And then finally, one of the kids comes out the back of the house, like, "Hey, why are they barking so bad?" I'm like, "Sorry, I've been in this. I didn't even hear them." Like I
Yeah,
stopped hearing them about halfway through this match.
both of
Uh,
these guys are so compelling.
oh, it was so good.
Speedball's got such great babyface energy. AR
Yeah,
Fox is so compelling to watch because he's so unique in what he
yeah,
does and how he looks. Like he looks too big to be doing the things that he does.
yeah. Especially now.
Yeah,
Like, holy
especially
crap.
now that
Especially
he's
now.
looking like an
Yeah.
action figure.
Dude, yeah, he
But
looks like an action figure. That's the
yeah,
best way to put it, I thought.
but yeah, this is great. It was a really good win for Speedy. Um, was happy with it. I was happy to see my man AR Fox on my screen. I was. This was very much a collision match.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I think Collision's the A wrestling show anyway, most of the time.
yeah. Most of the
Most of the
time,
time. This week is not the case,
it's
but
not
most of the
like
time.
collision doesn't move storylines forward.
Yeah,
It tends not to move the main ones over.
yeah. Um, After that, we've got a backstage interview, or not interview, but like a backstage segment with Pac and the Death Riders, and Pac is challenging A Darby for his AEW World Title. Like this poor man cannot have 5 seconds to breathe. You've and so now I guess I guess when they came back from this, we got a confirmation from the team that Darby Allin and Pac would be facing each other on the Fairway to Hell collision on
Yes.
Saturday, the hour-long version. Um, so yeah, so crap, poor Darby just don't get a break, and I get that's probably his choice. But man,
Yeah.
because you're not just wrestling a match at every show, you're wrestling matches against like dudes who are
High
gonna
level
put you in
competition.
it.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
High level competition.
like that. He is not like guys. Like I know wrestling is scripted, but he is not coming out of this unscathed. Okay,
No.
this man is going to be hurt.
Oh, especially not after Saturday.
Yeah,
Lordy Lou.
yeah. If after Double or Nothing, if we don't see Darby Allin for a month, I wouldn't be surprised. Man's going to need a freaking vacation. He's going to deserve it too.
No, he'll be back out. He'll just have he'll just be on his hospital bed. He'll be on wheels. He'll still have IV hooked up.
You see,
He'll be like, "Come at me, bitch."
that would be funnier if it wasn't so very close to reality with him. Like so close to reality. So after that, we've got Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue, and they mentioned that Windsor is on the shelf.
Yeah, I don't know how she got injured, but they mentioned that she was on the show.
Yeah, they mentioned that she's. I don't know what happened here. Same way I didn't know what happened to Hayter when she was on the shelf for a couple of weeks there.
Yeah, they're not as forthcoming with the injuries so much lately.
Yeah,
They just say, "Oh, that somebody's injured," and then just kind of leave it at that.
yeah. All our best to Windsor. I hope it's not serious. I hope
For
he gets
sure.
come back soon. Really soon, hopefully. But
this match slapped.
yeah, it
This
did. It did.
This was probably Sky Blue's best one-on-one performance.
Yeah,
I think that
I thought it was good.
like she had an iconic performance in Blood and Guts,
Yeah,
but as far as just like one-on-one straight wrestling matches, I think this is the best Sky Blue's ever looked.
yeah, she did.
I think
it was
she
a
and
really good
Hayter
match.
had great chemistry together.
Yeah, my wife thought it was a great match too. So I mean, she
Yeah.
was sitting there watching with me. She thought it was good. And I thought it was really good too. I thought wiping her boots off on her boobs was kind of a nice touch at the end, like very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
But I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter's very much a or what type of person. So
Yeah.
like you better not do that. Oh, or what?
Yeah.
You know.
You got to do something about it.
Yeah, and she did that while staring Tekla in the eye, who had come down with Julia Hart to kind of observe the last bit of the match, I guess. And yeah, she stared her in the eye and wiped her boots off on her friend's breasticles, and like you could tell Tekla was not happy with that.
Yeah.
And she was looking at her now like, I dare you to come down and do something about it. And while Hater's already taken an L to Tekla, like I still kind of want more of Tekla and Jamie Hater, to be
Well, he'll
honest.
get a little bit of that. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But before that, we get Don Callis setting up Mark Davis for the national title at Farewell You to Hell.
This is actually the segment we were talking about earlier where he had the title on and Don Callis just didn't say shit about it while
completely
he was going.
ignored
Yeah,
him.
completely ignored
Didn't
him.
acknowledge him.
And really, that's what I think. Like, I know that they're talking about Jack Perry and all this other stuff. And, you know, we'll talk more about Davis and Jack Perry in that national title match later. But I know that they're talking about that mostly and, you know, how Okada's got his claim to the AEW World Championship. But, like, I still feel like the big story in this was that Don Callis just glazed over Andrade completely.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even fucking standing there. But also that Takeshita was like,
he said that Okada was his hand-picked guy to go for the world title. Well, Andrade is right there, having been the beneficiary for months of being Don Callis' supposed hand-picked world title challenger.
Yeah.
But then Okada comes in, swoops in, and takes that away.
Mm-hmm.
And then Takeshita, who's also there, he's like, you should be focused on your international title. That's what you should be focused on.
Yeah. And I agree.
Yeah.
But
and then Andrade asks Don Callis, how do you know about choosing Okada?
Yeah.
And he just walks away.
I felt like a big break, that like a big part of this that's going to be a factor in the break of the Don Callis family is that he literally out loud compared Takeshita to Kenny Omega. And Takeshita knows how he feels about Kenny Omega very blatantly. And that's it. That was the blatant call for all of the people who didn't quite get it yet, who somehow missed that there was a break in the Don Callis family forming. That right there was what we call the obvious one, where you know, you've got all these little clues that something's going to happen. There's always one really fucking obvious one. That's it. You compare Takeshita to Kenny Omega. That's the way you talk about Kenny Omega and have for the last like 6 months. Every time one of these shows comes on and we have to hear from Don Callis, every time he mentions Kenny Omega and the way he talks about him, and now you're comparing your number one guy to Kenny Omega, who used to be your number one guy.
Yeah.
That's the obvious one right there.
Yep. The writing's on the wall, bro.
Yeah. Way on the wall. The writing is in the book and it is about to be published. And I believe that's going to happen at Double or Nothing, at least Takeshita being gone from Don Callis' family. If not Takeshita and Andrade.
Yeah. If I had to call it, I would say that probably Okada cheats to retain, with that cheating coming in the form of Don choosing sides and choosing Okada's.
Yeah.
And then that continues for another couple months.
Probably. We may run Okada Takeshita back for number 3. Would it be number 3 at All In? It's possible that
would be number 3. Yeah.
Yeah. It's possible that we stretch it out that far because I mean, you know Tony Khan likes his trilogy of matches. You know, that's a wrestling trope he has not let go of.
No.
Now, after that, I hear a much louder call in the distance.
Yeah. I wish my voice was in a position to do the call, but it's not.
But
just pretend that you hear a giant bird, because
we have the condor.
We have the giant condor of the week. Manny Lowe is Arush's unfortunate victim this week. I mean, he tried
45 seconds.
Yeah, maybe. Something like that. Man, the dude goes for a handshake. This is the second week in a row. It's like, this is not Ring of Honor. I'm forced to obey the rules of decency and, you know, that kind of stuff. It's not that guy.
No.
He just beats him. I would say pillar to post, but he only threw him into the one corner.
Yeah.
And he beats the snot out of him, gives him the horns, and that's the end of the thing. He gets on the mic afterwards, reinforces his catchphrase and leaves.
Yeah. And the crowd
So
is chanting that fucking catchphrase now. Like this guy
they
is
are,
this guy is
and
on like he's
he's getting
brutalizing
over.
people and he's still getting over. Like
He's getting over.
yeah, we're gonna have to do something face with Roosh soon. And I don't know how that's gonna work. Is he just gonna be somebody that everybody likes who's still an asshole?
Like John Moxley.
I mean,
Like,
that's a fair comparison. I would like to see more Roosh versus Moxley, to be perfectly honest.
I would very much like to see how violent that match is going to get.
Oh God, I have a feeling that we are like we know Roosh is hyper violent. Like I am so surprised we have not had more like Hanger and Roosh and Moxley and Roosh and stuff like that. Like he's so hyper violent, and I freaking love how hyper violent he is. Even though sometimes he does stuff that I'm like, that was really stiff, bud.
Yeah.
Like that was real stiff.
He doesn't seem like an easy guy to work with.
No, it doesn't seem that way. But I can only imagine he must be okay to work with because he has lasted this long in AEW. And despite how he brutalizes people in the ring, I've never once heard about him getting in a fist fight in the back. So
yeah,
he must be okay to work with, Either that or people just avoid him like the fucking plague because he is a real asshole.
mean, I would.
I probably would too.
If I wasn't actively seeking his protection, I don't want anything to do with him.
Yeah. I would be intimidated to just speak to that man.
Yeah.
For good fucking reason. Okay. Like, guys, this is not a guy who's just a scripted wrestler. That guy could probably legitimately kick your ass. A lot of people's ass, actually. Probably a lot at the same time. There's something about him. It's the way the look, the way he walks to something. You can tell he is like extremely dangerous for real. Like I don't know what the deal is, but
like I said last week, he's got that level of authenticity.
Yeah, he does.
He
really does.
And I think that's why people are gravitating towards him because even though his authentic self is a mean bastard who will take liberties, at least it's real.
Yeah.
It's not the artifice of pro wrestling. It's not, dressed up and sanitized. It's not that. He just seems like that guy that you definitely do not want to intercept in a back alley.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to meet that guy in the dark anywhere. Yeah, especially not if I'm going to be the one on his bad side. Fuck that.
No, nobody wants to be on that side.
So that was our Condor. That match lasted like 45 freaking seconds. Okay?
Yeah, wasn't long.
Wasn't long. After that, we've got another national title world tour, or national tour segment here with Jurassic Express, where Jack Perry, basically lets us know that he's ready for Mark Davis, and Mark Davis is a big stupid dog, stuff like that. I'm kind of enjoying the "if you don't like that, fuck you" catchphrase.
Yeah, it's not exactly a t-shirt catchphrase, but
no, it's not a t-shirt catchphrase, but I like it.
Yeah, it's true. I'm quite fond of it as well. It's too bad that like it seemed like they were establishing all these things for like a long haul thing, and then they swept the rug out from under us. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But to end the show, you got the Young Bucks and the Bang Bang Gang versus the Death Riders and the Dogs.
Party!
Fun party. 10-man tag.
So when this came, I had to explain the concept of a party match to my wife because like she understands 10-man tag and stuff like that, but like she was like, why are there so many people in this match? I was like, well, okay, so when we need to get everybody on the show and make it make sense, you have big matches like this because there's like 2 or 3 storylines happening within this match that they can further just by having this one match.
They all kind of coalesce.
But I also had to explain to her like Tony Khan really loves his like 5-on-5 party matches, and they're called party matches because they're just fun, and that's the whole point.
Yeah,
and you can further a storyline and have a fun match all at the same time. So I explained this to her, and she understood and like really enjoyed this match along with me. But this one was I had a lot of fun with this match.
This is fun.
I thought Ace Austin really maximized his time here.
He continues to do so too. Yeah, like
Yeah,
he had that match with Moxley the other day. He or a few weeks ago. Yeah, this match he had another match in between that he was part of, and now next week he's going to be facing Will Ospreay,
yeah. Which that's going to be a
and it
banger,
seems
bro.
like the stock in Ace Austin that train has finally left the station and it's
Yeah.
going up that hill.
Oh, it jumped 20 points in that Okada match. That was the other one,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Okada, yeah,
for
because he did
sure.
the handspring thing, and Okada did his like he like did the super surprised like over dramatic Okada, which was
Yeah,
awesome. Because that's like a rub from Okada. If Okada does the super dramatic thing in the match with you, that's him
yeah,
giving you a rub,
it
and
is.
that's a huge rub. Like he went over the top with his surprise at the athleticism of Ace Austin, which was cool. I like
Yeah,
that. The
for
kid's
sure.
really growing on me, dude. He really is. Every time he's in the ring, I'm engrossed in it. I think he's really fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
like you said, maximizing your minutes.
yeah,
He always does.
yeah,
He
he
always
always
takes.
does.
He never takes a single TV spot for granted.
Yeah. Um, we had Colton. Yeah, it was Colton. Colton's the one that came back just recently. I always get their
Yeah.
names mixed up, but like Colton not looking like there's any ring rust on him in the
Nope.
least at all,
Nope.
and
Not at all.
also like AR Fox looking fantastic, like
Yeah.
just I
Shredded.
shredded up too. Yeah, and like I said last week, that is the one that looks the most like his dad,
Yeah.
and works the most like his daddy. Even
Yeah.
though
His Austin definitely more has the personality of his
personality,
dad though,
yeah, yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
He's got the huge personality.
yeah,
Colton's got a little bit more of the work rate.
yeah, which is good because they're a tag team, and that's a perfect combination between the two of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that match was really good. The Guns hit Castagnoli with a 310, but everybody kind of like a bunch of double clotheslines, and everybody, we got like a 10-man down basically, until Yuta and Ace Austin were kind of left alone, and the Bucks kind of join in. Yuta gets like a super kick party out of 3 different guys, and they, the Bucks dive out to take care of the interference basically, and Ace Austin hits the fold on Yuta to get the victory. So Ace even picks up the
Yeah.
pin in this one, which is fucking A, man.
Yeah.
And Danny Garcia wasn't taking the pin in a match where he's in the same ring as Claudio, which usually
It's
is what
true.
happens. Juice Robinson comes out to celebrate with everybody afterwards, and that's kind of where
Yeah.
we cut off Dynamite. There wasn't really a lot going on after the match, so
No, it was just a feel good spot to send the crowd home happy, basically.
yeah, yeah, and honestly, because of some of the developments on Collision, like this was by far the best show of the week. I mean, I know it was 3
Yeah, this
hours.
is cool.
It was really good, man. I thought Dynamite was really good this week. That first hour of Collision was also really good. Like, I felt like I didn't like Collision second hour as much this week because of how good this was. But we can talk about that.
Yeah.
So now we've got Collision Fairway to Hell. From Saturday, they were at the SoFi Center in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And
Yeah.
I guess this is an indoor golf venue.
Yeah, I think it's like a training center for like some university's golf team or something like that.
So
You and I were talking about this earlier. I think the best way that I can put this venue is that it looks really cool on TV. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
But from a practical standpoint, as an audience member, I can see how it would be a really frustrating venue to go and watch a wrestling show
Yeah.
in, because the building itself is very long, and there were some ringside seats surrounding the ring, like 3 or 4 rows of chairs surrounding the ring, but everything else on the floor was taken up by golf real estate. So
Yeah.
the spectator seats were along the edges of the walls where most people were probably far enough away from the ring and at a bad enough angle that they probably didn't see a damn thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then on top of
it,
that, they had like a two deep rows of people standing around
yeah,
the guardrail. So like, even if you had a front row seat, you probably couldn't see much.
probably not.
Um, like I was saying to you earlier, I thought the entrance way was really cool. Kind of actually almost a little bit of an improvement over the typical AEW entrance.
Yeah,
But
I liked the entrance a lot actually.
yeah, but I just feel like this venue was just completely counter in purpose to a wrestling show. I said to you earlier, like I didn't really like this show, this venue, and I've done wrestling shows in Pizza Hut parking lots.
Yeah.
So like there was just something about it, man. Like I I I mean I understood, why they did things later in the show because of the venue, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I couldn't understand why the venue scout for AEW walked into this place or got pictures of this place and was like, this would be great for wrestling, because it's not really.
It's not
No.
really. I think that certain wrestlers tried to make the most of it, though.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. They definitely tried to make the most of it, but like the way the seating was set up, plus the people standing around the ring, kind of obstructing the
Yeah.
view of the people who were seated, plus the length of the venue and the ring not being centrally located in the venue because of sand traps, literally.
Mm.
Like I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff about this venue that I think I liked it less than I did like it. So like it just, like, some of the things were cool, but other stuff I was just thinking, this is not a good. Even a lot of stuff even on TV is like, this isn't good. Like, and it's not.
Yeah.
The wrestling was okay, but I kind of also feel like some of the wrestlers wrestling in this venue were like, why the fuck are we in here? Like,
Yeah.
like. And
Uh,
that confusion was borne out in a couple of matches. Like, oh, fuck,
that's
like,
okay though,
but it's
because
okay.
like, it is what it. You know why it's okay? Because Big Mark Davis finally has a belt.
I am.
He's been putting in the work, and
Yeah,
it shows. Dude he's ready as soon as he's sent him out onto the field.
yeah. I was actually really high on that match, mostly because, you know, like, I really like Mark Davis, of course,
Yeah,
and so I'm glad he won. But at the same time, I don't quite understand all the build behind Jack Perry if this is what they were gonna
yeah.
do.
It threw me off too. That was not so much a. It wasn't so much a tipping point for me or anything like that, but it was curious. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's. I'm just happy for Mark Davis, and that's what I'm focusing on. I
yeah,
guess
I think that's pretty much what I have to focus on because I'm a big fan of Mark Davis, and
it's like
I'm
I
glad
was
he
so
won the
hyped by these
belt.
videos. They were hyping this video. Is the national tour,
Yeah,
which implies that you're going to go a lot of different places, and then, well, apparently, no, we're
yeah,
not doing
apparently
that.
not. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't understand the title change, but I am okay with Mark Davis having a title because he
Yeah,
has really.
this year has been so good for him.
It's been good for him, but he's had to overcome a lot of bullshit,
Yeah,
to prove his worth in the company, because there's so many setups that they did for him where he would have a good tag team or something else, and it just kind of fell through because of injuries or whatever. And
yeah,
and I still, up until now, I still felt like they hadn't taken advantage of all the goodwill that he brought forth doing that Hey EW episode.
yeah,
So I feel like this is finally like the reward for all of that goodwill and stuff that he built. Yeah, he's a heel, but he's a
yeah,
damn effective heel. Like, you believe that
yeah.
that guy is mean and will beat you up, even though we know better.
Monster heels.
Hey, but he's a
They don't
monster
have
heel.
they don't have too many monster heels because they don't
No,
have too many big guys like
no,
huge dudes. So good for him. Um, video package for Nick Wayne. He's going back to the Best of Super Juniors this
Yeah.
year. Good for him. He'll be gone for a month, which is something that the Ring of Honor World Television Championship is no stranger to at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
I still am trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to watch that. So.
yeah. And with this next segment, it's where things get really weird because Jack, he says he was on the phone with Chris Jericho, I guess, or his buddies at the Elite or whatever. He gets off the phone and he says, you want somebody for Stadium Stampede. I got, more than me. I got 4 dudes, so it's going to be him and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, teaming up, as the Elite, teaming up with Chris Jericho, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley. Those 7 guys versus the Demand in GOA and Ricochet, and 4 handpicked members of the Don Callis family. The hand doing the picking is Ricochet's, who factored into that last match, by the way. We didn't even touch on it. He, behind the referee's back, he smashed Perry's back with a golf club.
Yeah.
To set up the gut wrench pile driver.
Yeah.
So
and
that's how that happened.
But we did learn that the first pick from the Don Callis family is actually Mark Davis, new national champion.
Yeah.
So
that's all we know, though.
And we don't know the other 3 yet. And I don't think they covered any of the other ones for the rest of the show either.
They did not.
But the fact that they are like, okay, now not only are we having a Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing in a couple of weeks, but it's going to be 7-on-7.
Yeah.
How are they possibly
and beer flying everywhere?
Hit my fucking screen any more than they already do? Like, how am I going to keep up? I'm going to have to rewatch this match 7 times, guarantee, because I'm going to have to like concentrate on one little screen square and just watch that one screen square the entire match, and then watch it again, and then again, and then again,
and again.
They keep doing this to me. After that, we have Divine Dominion's 5-minute challenge. Now they did a pre-recorded thing where they stated that they were going to do this 5-minute challenge.
That's an awful lot like Who Can Survive 5 with the best wrestler alive.
Yeah, it does sound a lot like that. And here's my thing. Okay, here's my thing. Okay, I'm starting to hate this. I'm really like we are what, 4 or 5 weeks into this, something like that. And I don't hate them as competitors. I'm just a little tired.
The booking isn't there.
The booking isn't there, and the promo is the same every week. It's the same exact promo every week, just slightly. It's like they wrote a promo, fed it into ChatGPT, and said, "Give us 5 different versions of this." I'm getting a little worn out on it, and because of that, I'm finding myself having a hard time being interested, especially when they said 5-minute challenge. I was like, oh, great. So what that means is they're going to job out people every week now, like they already have been doing. It's just going to have a 5-minute timer this time. It's going, I feel like we're on a treadmill. We're going freaking nowhere. No matter how fast we're going nowhere.
That said, they're, R.I.P. Ruthie Slay and Rachel Leigh, who for some reason were probably picked, probably because their names rhymed with each other is probably why they were picked.
Maybe. But, I mean, nothing really different in the match either. They beat them like they beat everybody else, and that's pretty much it.
Afterwards, they announced the women's title match for Double or Nothing. Injuries really did a number on this because it winds up being Tekla defending in a 4-way match with Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
So the draw that they're trying to put on it, the spin they're trying to put on it, is that every single one of these women has been a world champion, been
Yeah.
AEW World Women's Champion at one point or another. But like, it's clear that this wasn't the goal. This
Yeah.
wasn't the end point, and injuries just took a toll on everything and threw things up in the air. But you gotta have the women's title on the pay per view, so you gotta do something with it. So
Yeah.
this is the might as well match.
Yeah, and I feel like it might
Might
be
as
the
well.
only women's match on the card too, unfortunately, but I feel that way.
Well, I don't know.
I'm
I
hoping we
feel
see
like
Willow, but
I feel like there's a chance that Willow could have an open challenge at the pay per view.
yeah,
And depending on who it is, she might even lose.
maybe we'll have to see whose comeback she's trying to kill.
Yep, could be Mercedes
Probably
Moné,
Mercedes.
could
That's what
be
I'm thinking.
Athena, could be Nyla Rose. Here's hoping.
Yeah, gosh, I hope so.
Yeah,
After that, super excited. We're gonna get the brackets for the Owen next week.
yes,
I love that. I love that. It's Owen time. I'm so happy it's Owen time. That does mean though that the Owen's probably going to be taking place a little bit while we're on hiatus, but we will do the same thing that we do with the Continental Classic and come back and talk about the Owen while it's happening if we are on hiatus while that happens. They haven't actually told us when the tournament is taking place, just that this Wednesday we'll be getting the tournament brackets, which I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. Makes me wonder if we're going to see any like mystery brackets or anything like that. Usually one on one side or the other, so we'll see. After that, we got news that surprised me because I still don't know why, but Kazuchika Okada is being replaced in the world title match on Wednesday by Takeshita.
Yeah, apparently it was a shoot. He had like a family issue or something back in Japan, had to fly back, had to take care of it. That came out, that was what Don Callis said, and it turns out apparently that's not a work. That wasn't the plan. It just happened out of nowhere, and now Takeshita is stepping up and taking his place, that should really piss off Andrade. Honestly, he was not here for this event, so we don't know what he feels or whatever. But I can only imagine that hearing that after all the time that Don said, "Hey, you're my guy. You're going for the world title," to have not only Okada, but then the replacement isn't even Andrade.
Yeah,
it's Takeshita. Ooh, Andrade must be seething.
Oh yeah. I hope so. I hope that's what we see next time we see him. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. After that, we take a quick look at Kyle O'Reilly vignette. Kind of going over his return and what was going on before he left, where they blatantly show us him making Jon Moxley tap out.
Yes, they want to remind us of that for good reason, I'm sure.
And then they let us know that this Wednesday on Dynamite, Orange Cassidy will be teaming with the Young Bucks and Christian and Cage and Adam Copeland against the Dogs, FTR, and Ciampa. I'm like, ooh.
But several hours ago, I forgot where I was going with that. Shoot. It was about somebody and I don't remember. Just edit this part out. I look like an idiot. But yeah, Kyle O'Reilly, I think even with me saying that Jay White would probably make an interesting next challenger, I still think the guy to beat him for the belt is Kyle O'Reilly. It just happens that he has the trios title right now, and I'm fundamentally against double champions for the foreseeable future anyway. Yeah. So
after that, we got our standby match because of how, apparently, according to commentary, how short the women's match was.
Even the 5-minute match, or even the 2.5-minute match, or rather, even the 5-minute challenge went so quickly that they had to have a standby.
Yeah.
Kieran Gray was Speedball's opponent. This is Speedball's second singles match of the week. I kind of liked Kieran Gray. he had a lot of fire in him.
Yeah.
You know, he did some cool stuff. They said that he had a really diverse background. He was a Navy SEAL. He did a little bit of boxing, a little bit of MMA. Oh man, you're gonna have to excuse my voice. I'm really feeling it now. But yeah, now he's landed on pro wrestling. Seems like he has a big personality. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to see more of that guy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I kind of do too,
But
actually.
the only downside was I don't know if it was the camera angle or what, but I don't think Speedball hit him with the ultimate weapon. I think he
I don't think he actually did either.
I think he performed the ultimate weapon. I don't think he actually hit him with it.
No, I don't think so. After that, we Kevin Knight comes out and we kind of have I guess, kind of just letting us know that they're not mad at each other and we're not getting a Speedball and Jet breakup anytime soon.
Yeah.
He's still saying Jet 2 belts despite losing the match. Stop it.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. And then we're moving on to the main event, but we we see a little like video package from Pac first. And then we have our no count out. And they did this because the venue sucked and needed to have more wrestling in more different places so that more fans could actually see something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had that. And we've got Pac versus Darby Allin. And I thought this match was pretty cool. I was especially fond of the pocket sand spot.
Yeah. No, it's great because it starts out really, really fun. Darby, the bell rings and they're both in the ring. Darby immediately powders. And he hops the guardrail and goes out onto the green. And he holds his arms out as he looks at Pac, who's still in the ring. And he's like, I'm right here. Let's do this. And so Pac follows him out. They do some suplex spots. It's the sand trap. He puts him in the brutalizer in the sand trap.
Oh God, that had to be terrible too. They had so much. I guarantee they had so much sand in so much spandex.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The sweaty and sandy.
God.
Anybody's ever gone to the beach, they know what that's like.
Yeah.
But yeah, you couldn't win the match out there. So even though Darby looked like he pretty much passed out from the pain, couldn't do anything about it. Had to get him back in the ring, and that was too far. So they just kind of took turns beating each other up. Eventually, they wound up in the seats after. Well, first of all, there was at one point where Pac was in trouble, and he called out the Death Riders, and they came. It didn't. They approached the ring, but stopped about 40 feet away or so. Yeah. It was more of a distraction than anything.
Yeah, because they couldn't do anything, or he'd be disqualified. Like you just
exactly.
no count outs, and commentary actually
it's
covered
only
for
no
it.
count. I know it's. I'm glad that even though no count outs is kind of a lame stip on their own, they did enough with it to kind of justify it.
Yeah. Especially keeping the Death Riders out of it and keeping us from falling into that interference trope with them again.
Yep.
By saying, if they do anything, he loses, and he doesn't want to lose.
Yep. Right, because a world title is on the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, while Pac and Darby are brawling, the Dark Horses, which I think is what they're going with for their name. This was the second time that they said it was John Moxley called them his Dark Horses.
Yeah. I like
so
that name.
2 weeks in a row. I like it too.
Yeah.
But they set up 4 tables right outside the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Pac takes Darby right up there on the scaffolding, and he just casually throws him off. And that fall through 2 tables because he missed 2 tables.
He fucking missed half of that shit. Yeah, that had to be terrible. Oh God, I cringed so hard at this. Oh yeah, that shit's gonna be on Botchamania, guys. Okay, sorry, but for sure.
I'm trying to think. So yeah, he set up the tables, and then Pac took him up the stairs during the commercial break. You
Yeah.
come back, and it's Darby and Pac up at the top there, overlooking the tables, and he just casually throws him off through two of the tables because he misses the other two.
Mm-hmm.
And that must have been a 25-foot drop.
Oh God, it was so high.
It was so high.
Oh God,
it was ludicrously high, and he fell right on the concrete.
Oh God, like right on his butt, dude. Like, oh
yeah.
The tables glanced him off just enough to like land in a sitting position, which had to hurt. That should had to hurt.
Did.
And that, I mean, that was like kind of the big spot of the match, though.
That was the biggest spot of the match, but Pac goes down to grab him, throws him in the ring. 1, 2. Somehow he kicks out.
I had no idea. I thought it was over for sure at this point. I was like, damn, he really threw him off. Like, maybe he's done. Maybe he really is done right here.
Then they pull another distraction spot. I think it was Garcia, maybe, slid the chair in for Pac to use. He feigned using it so the referee would take the chair away and replace it so that he could get out what he was actually looking for, the world title belt. And he looks to use it, but gets a little comeuppance because at one point behind the referee's back, Pac had used a low blow to turn the tide in his favor, which set up Darby doing the same to him for comeuppance.
Yeah.
And then he hits Pac with the title belt, which in the rules of kayfabe here is justified because, you know, a babyface can cheat as long as it's very clear and obvious that his heel opponent was also going to blatantly cheat.
Yeah.
It's just seen as justice at that point.
Yeah.
But Pac had Pac shoot, I lost my train of thought here.
Yeah, he
had hit a low blow earlier.
Yeah.
So Darby hits him with one, hits him with the belt, coffin drop, boom, 1, 2, 3. Darby retains. And although it was justified in kayfabe, this was the first time he had to kind of resort to those kind of measures. Darby is starting to show cracks. He's starting to get desperate.
Yeah. He's desperate to hang on to the title.
I really hope that turns into something that marks a change in his character a little bit going forward.
Maybe a little darker. I don't know if he's going to ever be a heel, but maybe darker.
Yeah.
Definitely go darker. I mean, you know, didn't hurt Batman any.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That was it though.
Yeah.
It's a lot to cover. Lots of stuff set up. So, I mean, I'm really excited about Stadium Stampede. Can't believe I'm going to be in attendance for it.
Yeah. So jealous.
And I think I mean, I don't know what more to say there is on that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to go. They set up a lot of stuff. Still have a lot of unanswered questions.
Mm-hmm. Like what the other 10 matches are going to be?
Well, yeah. They're in the tri-state area, so I imagine they'll try and get a hold of Big Boom AJ for the pre-show.
Shane Taylor.
You just wanted to mean mug a 10-year-old again.
Yes, I do. And then I don't advocate the beating of children except for that one. So yes, I do. Yes. Okay. Yes. Do I like watching this guy's matches now because I get to see the Rizzler get pie-faced by a heel pretty much every time? Yes. Love it. Okay. Love it. Makes up for AJ getting to spear wrestlers who should not be getting speared by Big Justice or whatever, spearing wrestlers who shouldn't be getting speared by a fucking 15-year-old. Shane Taylor being one.
Yeah.
But yeah. I thought wrestling, I mean, it was good this week. Collision,
it was
a little less so, but it wasn't bad. It's just the venue really kind of fucked with me on that one.
It's a really odd venue. I hope that the challenges that this venue presented don't color Tony's perspective to the point where he's not willing anymore to go to the weird places. I love the weird places. This one was just, it was weird in a way that was prohibitive.
Yeah. It was not. I don't know. It just, that venue is just not conducive to wrestling because you cannot locate the ring centrally.
Yeah.
Like, Daly's place is a bit of a weird venue, but there's a good spot for the ring, you know?
Yeah,
like,
they managed to make it work.
Yeah, but this
with two different setups for that matter, too.
Yeah, this one I just don't feel like this play. Like, please keep going to the interesting little theaters and stuff like that. Y'all have been doing. That's great stuff.
Oh yeah, those are some of my favorite episodes. Or the one they had their residencies in those weird places. Those really cool holes in the wall.
Yeah, but maybe not this one again. You know, maybe just gloss over this one. I mean, if they're asking y'all to come, okay, maybe consider it from a business standpoint. But like, I don't feel like there was enough seats for fans or enough of a conducive environment for it to really be worth it. You know, like I feel like it was they were a loud and into it crowd, but I felt like this crowd was pretty light for an AEW show, especially recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The SoFi Stadium, it says that it seats. How many does it say you can seat? Trying to find it on the Wikipedia page. Usually they have stats like that.
Wonder if it's in one of my old promoter sites. Okay. 2,000 seated capacity.
Okay, yeah, they could have. If that same building was anything other than a practice course for golfers, and you didn't have all that golf stuff in the way to contend with, I could see them running all manner of sports in there.
Yeah. But the golf stuff kind of precludes it because you can't just cover it up like you can an ice sheet or a basketball court because of the terrain.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You got different types and they're all over the place.
Yeah, and it's just not really conducive to this kind of thing. So that's really the only big complaint I had about this week, though, was that venue specifically. Like, transplant that entryway, though, anywhere else. Take it with you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that stuff was pretty cool. I even liked, like, how the fans were, like, right there in the entrance tunnel. Like, I thought that would be, like, the coolest seat in the building right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Until they walk around and then you can't see anything.
Yeah. Basically.
I didn't see any big screens, so I really hope that they found a way to show the people who couldn't see it, like, up close and personal, what it was like.
So that was the wrestling for the week. It was really good.
Yeah, wrestling was good. Venue was iffy. Storylines, some of them were a little drawn out.
Yeah, a little bit.
That said, that's all for the review part, which means there's just one thing left to do.
We got to do like the pros do and call it in the ring.
That's right. Now, we touched on certain aspects of what we're going to talk about right now earlier. I was in a conversation with our friend Mike the Mark on Blue Sky a day or two ago. And, you know, he brought up a good point. Like, there's nothing wrong with the talent that we have in the women's division of AEW.
Right.
But there's a big problem with execution, and we need to fix that.
I feel strangely like Tony Khan has been a little bit less motivated with the women's division since Tony Storm had to take her leave of absence.
Yes. I think that when you have somebody as creative as Tony, who's probably being entrusted with a lot of her own ideas, it makes Tony Khan's job easier when she's around, because she can pitch something that's almost fully formed as an idea, and Tony can just be like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's figure out a way to implement it.
Yeah.
And then they do it. She's not there anymore though. And you're right. The quality of the attention and focus that the women's division has been granted in Tony's absence is pretty obvious.
Yeah. And
so we're gonna talk about our ideas on how we could kind of improve things in that respect. First of all, if I may go first, bring Sue back. Happy Mother's Day, y'all. It was just a Mother's Day joke.
Okay.
I do miss Sue though. She needs to come back and straighten her boy out. But no, for real.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day to Sue and to Mother Wayne, maybe especially Mother Wayne. To Ruby Soho and Ty Mello and all the other moms. Yep. All the other moms we know in AEW, all of the moms that might be listening to us. We're recording this on Mother's Day, so it's in our thoughts. And I just wanted to give a shout out before we continue with that. So happy Mother's Day, y'all. I will be belated by the time this gets to your ears.
And if you're one of the dudes who listens to our show and you didn't call your mama yesterday, pause and call your mama.
Yeah, probably. Probably for the best.
I mean, if you can, of course.
If you can. But yeah, I think that the first thing they need to do is get Mercedes Moné back as quickly as they can.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what Tony's plans are for her, but this division, while it's stacked with talent, they're only focusing on like the same 12 people and trying to overlap two singles divisions, really, if you count both titles as a division unto themselves, and a tag division with those 11 people, 12 people.
Yeah.
It's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
It's just not.
This is that women's 12 pack we were talking about before,
Yeah. I keep hearing rumors, rumblings that, they're going to want to give Dynamite another hour, which is fine, but we kind of brought that up a little bit last week. But if that's going to happen, I'm going to need a lot more women's content.
Yeah, like probably the whole hour, to be honest.
And it doesn't need to be just the third hour. It can be interspersed throughout the show. I prefer it to be interspersed throughout the show.
Yeah.
But it needs to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we already talked about this a little bit on this show, but I mean, my first thing that I would do would be to elevate Athena.
Yeah. Call her up. I said, have her drop the Ram Honor title to Billy Starks.
Yeah. Tony Khan,
do it.
With what I feel like is a bit of a lack of attention to the women's division as a whole, has kind of painted it into a corner. I mean, Tekla is very quickly moving through the available opponents.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody else, Athena got a shot at everybody else, a legit shot at everybody else. At Mercedes, at Tony, I think she did have a match or two against Mariah May even. If you want to go back that far.
Maybe.
But
I don't know.
But like you painted yourself into this corner again, where like the only two people that we're getting to the point where the only two people who Tekla hasn't faced for the title will either be the tag team champions themselves or her own minions.
Yeah.
And so we desperately need Athena, and we desperately need Athena anyway. I hate to break it to you, Tony, but the only person on any of your rosters who can compete with Tekla's cool level is Athena. Like,
it's hard to argue. You know, she's got such a big personality.
Yeah,
She's very engaging, both in on the mic and in the way that she moves in the ring.
yeah.
Like nobody's like her.
No, no.
There's nobody like Athena.
So yeah, I mean, we need Athena back. After bringing Athena up from ROH, I would return Nyla Rose to television immediately and regularly.
Oh, absolutely! Please, hallelujah.
Oh.
I mean, the good way to do that is to bring her back as part of the TBS Open Challenge comeback killer thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to win the belt, but she
No.
needs to be in the mix.
Yeah.
She needs to be on TV, and she needs to be able to show her personality.
Yeah.
Because what she shows in the ring is a far cry from how she is on social media. And
Right.
I feel that's a shame. Because
Like-
she's really entertaining and really funny online.
You know, here's what I would love, okay? And I know a lot of people might disagree with me about this just on the first premise, because nobody seems to want any more belts in AEW, and I get it. We got a lot, okay?
Yeah.
But I think the one egregious one that is missing from other wrestling organizations in the world who have versions of this is a mixed tag team title. And I would love for
I do like that idea.
I would love for Nyla Rose and Juice Robinson to be the mixed tag team champions. Tell me it would be hilarious. She is so funny. She could be the heater.
Yeah. I mean, she'd have to be, right?
She could be the heater, dude. Like, there you go. Like, she's the tough one out of the two, even though Juice Robinson is insanely, tough. Like, but they would be so funny just playing off each other. I mean, the funniest shit I've seen on AEW still is Nyla Rose's surprise bitch segments, where she just pops into a promo, surprise bitch, and knocks a bitch out and runs off. Like, that's still the funniest shit. Like, I miss Nyla. Like, I am so glad I'm able to follow her on Blue Sky because she's such a hilarious person and she's a great follow.
And she's really, really active.
Yeah, she's really active. She interacts with us and stuff, and like she's super fun to like pay attention to.
A little kayfabe feud with Serpentico.
Yeah,
you know,
the traveling around the world around the United States and giving the UK belt the tour.
Yeah,
that she
doing
did
it in a British accent.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I have a lot of fun following her on social media. I had a lot of fun watching her on AEW when she was there regularly, and I feel like one of the ways you fix the women's division is by making her a regular part again, because not only do you bring her back and put her where we want her, you instantly add an opponent, a credible one, to every title.
Yeah.
Every title. There is even a couple of dudes titles. Like, if you told me Nyla Rose beat Jack Perry for the national title, I don't think I would blink.
No.
I'd be like, great for her.
Yeah.
But literally, like, we're running out of TBS. We're running out of AEW Women's Championship contenders. We're already out of tag team contenders. Nyla Rose plus anyone, instant tag team contender. Nyla Rose TBS contender. Nyla Rose AEW World Heavyweight, World Women's Heavyweight Championship contender. None of those sound odd. None of those sound bad. And that's one more person that you can add to that. Even if all you're doing is using her to extend a title reign a week, it's still one more person. It's still a different person than facing the same 12 people, because you get 3 months into a title reign and it has to be over basically because you have no more fucking people. The AEW Women's Division, unfortunately, now Tony Storm aside, because we still don't know what's going on there, and I'm not going to
not going to speculate
on it. Yeah, I'm not going to speculate whatsoever. But the AEW Women's Division has been the shit kicked out of it by injuries. And injuries and people leaving who were once big parts of it, like Mariah.
Yeah.
But like,
I know it's cool to dunk on Mariah now, but like,
I understand part of the best thing in the last 5 years. I'm not going to dunk on her at all.
I understand why, because it was obvious that she is, all in on WWE superstardom, and I get it. Childhood dream and all that. Okay, that's fine. whatever. But
She's not American. She doesn't have to play into our politics, you know.
yeah,
So, you know, I don't hate on people from other countries who end up in WWE because in certain places that's all they've got. They don't know
yeah,
anything else, you know, and also they're not. I mean, yes, in current situation, they're definitely privy to our politics. It affects them,
yeah.
but they don't have to give a shit about our politics. They don't. They don't have to give a shit about our politics. And so I can't be like, for political reasons, fuck Mariah May. No, she doesn't have to give a shit about our politics. She's not an American, you
Mm.
know? So while I don't agree with what's going on here, I don't care that she's in WWE. No, I'm not watching her anymore, but I'm also not going to dunk on her because if you want to tell me the Hollywood ending and that whole Mariah Tony thing wasn't like the best shit in the last 5 years,
It was so good.
go fuck
It was
yourself. It
so good.
was the best shit in the last 5 years
You know,
across all wrestling.
the only part in the middle was the booking for Mariah's title reign.
Yeah.
Like for
I thought
4
that was a
months,
little
she just
tough.
did literally nothing with it,
Yeah.
and then she finally faces what's her name?
Was it Rosa?
I can't remember. Shoot.
Oh no. I kind of just eliminate the part in the middle. It's all Tony and Mariah for me for that. Dude.
Yeah, it's Thunder Rosa is her only like
yeah.
credible challenger, and it's like 4 months into her title reign.
Yeah.
Like she's faffing around with Anna Jay, who they tried to build up as like, oh, she spent a month in Stardom, and now she's like, you know,
Better.
improved so much, and when she hadn't really,
Yeah.
it was like
stick with it.
the moments were great with that storyline, but that whole middle part with Mariah May's actual title reign, not really memorable.
No.
Honestly.
No. But the Tony
She-
stuff, back to front.
I don't want to take her contribution to the angle, but towards the end of it, it seemed like she was mostly there just to kind of facilitate Tony Storm coming back and having a big title match.
Yeah. But still, the angle was great. So,
Oh
but
yeah, for
either
sure.
way, we need to get back to more focus on the women's division. It just needs to
Yeah.
be more.
And honestly, you need to sign as many competent wrestlers as you can in the women's division.
Yep.
You need to call up some of those Ring of Honor women, like especially Athena specifically, but Red Velvet and
Becca.
Deonna Purrazzo.
They need to sign Becca.
Yeah,
They
Becca
really
would
need
be
to
a
sign
good sign.
She would be great. That
They
match
need
she
to
had
sign-
with whoever it was a couple weeks ago, fantastic.
It was oh gosh, who was it? It was
Stat,
It was
yeah.
Statlander.
Great match.
Yeah, where it was like it was an enhancement match where the enhancement talent got more offense in than the main talent.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And she showed a lot of personality too. And it was like there are women who are begging to get in.
She reminded me a
Let-
little bit of Carmella, who I am actually a big fan of. So I was happy. I was like, man, sign her. Fuck, get it.
Well, I mean, she tried to do the cone of silence too, which is very, very much. I mean, to the point where Carmella even kind of gave her some very, very softball stuff over it. But yeah, I can see similarities there.
Yeah.
But like,
Also
my
the
point
outfit.
is, you call up your main talents from ROH.
Mm-hmm.
You try to sign at least Asuka and
Asuka,
Kairi
Kairi.
Sane,
Yeah.
and try and get Alba Fire too.
Yeah.
Try to
I
get her
love it.
too.
Yeah. Because that
Then
immediately
all
adds
the-
two credible tag teams to the tag team division right there.
Then
If you
all
get
these
Alba.
women who are sitting on the sideline, who are getting these comebacks off of the Willow run, but haven't been implemented since those matches. EVS, even Camille, Queen Aminata. Where is she? She's doing like Joshi Pro, and she's kicking ass.
Yeah.
Why are we not utilizing Queen Aminata? Tekla is the world champion, and you are not throwing Queen Aminata at her. What
Yeah.
are we doing?
That should already have been happening because that should be like that. I still want that to be an on-site feud, like just
Me
they
too. That should
randomly
have
walk each
been
other out to the bathroom and bam, here we
if
go.
Queen
Like
if Queenie was cleared, that should have been the first woman knocking on the door of Tekla.
yeah,
Should have been the first one.
yeah, and it should be the
Then I
next.
want you to take all these women and I want you to rigidly stratify them. Okay, you two are going to be a tag team. The only time that either one of you two particular talents would be in a singles match would be A, as an enhancement match in like your hometown, or B, against a member of another tag team in order to build a feud between those teams. That's it. That's it. Tag
Like,
teams versus tag. Other than that, tag teams versus tag teams. If you're in a tag team, that's it. You're not
yeah,
chasing the women's belt. You're not chasing TBS title. Here is where you stay. This is your role. Everybody else is in this division, the singles division, TBS and World Women's.
yeah,
And you make a pecking order.
yeah,
It sounds simpler than it is. I know with there's lots of stuff that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
true.
It would be really helpful if you could get that third hour for Dynamite. That's just an online rumor that's coming down the pike, though. There's no corroboration to that yet.
Yeah, and with the
So I'm not
shakeup
gonna
at
say-
Warner Discovery is probably no guarantee either. So,
Yeah,
you know,
but that's the thing to me is like you need to give them more time if you can.
Yeah.
And if you can't give them more time, at the very least, call more people up and utilize more people. And if you have to cut the time of matches in half in order to get more matches, as long as they're not like Diva style matches, people will accept them.
yeah,
They will accept. And look at Speedball versus AR Fox as the perfect example of this. That was a pretty short match.
yeah. but
What,
it was
5,
awesome.
6 minutes tops?
Yeah,
But it was great. It was awesome. You can do that with the women.
you can.
I would rather more women get reps in than 2 women get one match on a card that happens to get 12 minutes, 15 minutes. I would much rather get 2 or 3 shorter matches out of that and get more women, more reps.
This might be a hot take, but I think maybe, I mean, I would be, and I don't know why they wouldn't, but I would be okay with, maybe we cut a Don Callis segment and a Death Riders segment off every show and give that time to the women instead of giving both of those factions 4 segments a show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of egregious, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, I like how every now and then they'll pull the thing where there are a bunch of those guys from that faction ringside.
Yeah.
And then they do the one match, and then there's like a little schmoz in between. And then those guys who are there already at ringside were in the next scheduled match anyway.
Yeah.
So they're already there. I kind of like that trope.
Yeah, I do like that.
So there's a place for multiple segments featuring these big stables, but you don't need, like you said, you don't need to have them dominating the whole show every week.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not opposed to either of those two groups either. I mean, yeah, they're heels and that's boo, but
Boo.
I'm not opposed to them. I just like, come on. Sometimes like it's the 2 hours of Dynamite are an hour of Don Callis family and an hour of Death Riders. And it's like, can we do anything else? Like, I mean, we have a deeper roster than the Mariana Trench. And for some reason, I still see the same 16, 18 people on TV every week. Like, and I understand we're doing stories and we're intertwining a lot of things and cool. I trust in Tony Khan's process, but I feel like part of that process needs to be dedicated more to the women.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. No question about it. I mean, they have arguably just as much talent in the women's division as they do in the men's. I mean, a lot of those wrestlers they are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah,
Very,
there's
very
the odd
talented set
exception,
of women.
but they have a very talented, yeah, they got a very talented pool of people. They keep signing new people and then kind of like they had High and Maya World on TV for like 5 weeks straight doing tag team matches, make them lose a tag team title match, and then signed them, made them all elite, and then relegated them off to ROH like immediately. Why?
Yeah.
Why did we do that? Why are they not the number one contenders for the tag team titles right now? Because they're literally one of the only other tag teams.
Hmm.
Like, and would I be happy to see them beat the Divine Dominion? Yeah, I'm Texas Love. I'm a big fan of those ladies. So would I
Yeah.
like to see them beat Divine Dominion? Hell yeah. Am I alone in that? Probably not.
Probably not.
So it's little stuff like this. Like you've kind of painted yourself in a corner with the tag team division. You've got Willow doing a comeback killer thing, which is cool, but also a little bit detrimental to those people who are coming back. And
Yeah.
then you've got the world title situation, which is, I mean, we've got a 4-way for it, but not like other than Jamie Hayter losing the match to Tekla in the last few weeks, the other two ladies haven't interacted with Tekla at all in the
Yeah.
build up to this match. So like,
Yeah. This was I mean, I'm willing to give a little bit more grace there because I don't think that was the initial
oh no, I don't think it was the
plan.
initial
I
plan.
think it
that's
was
just what they
supposed to be
pivoted to.
Persephone.
What happened to Persephone?
I guess she got some kind of injury, some legit injury.
See, the injuries are just kicking their asses, man.
But she's another one that needs to get called up too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like I know she's the CMLL Women's Champion, but let's get her out of there for a while.
She's a complete performer.
Oh yeah,
she is really good.
Yeah, we have barely I've gone back.
We barely scratched the surface on her.
Yeah, I've gone back and watched a bunch of her like early, stuff from earlier in her career than this because it's not a very long career. She's still very young, but like we have not even begun to tap into the kind of powerhouse monster she is capable of being.
Yeah,
and the way she's presented in Mexico,
big star for this company.
Yeah, she might as well be top gladiator in Mexico, man. She is treated like a freaking goddess there, and for good reason because her matches are crazy good, and like we haven't even begun to see a hint of that as much as she really is in AEW. I mean, yeah, she's good there, but like we're not seeing the same Persephone that is the CMLL Women's Champion.
No.
And I want to see that Persephone in AEW, possibly as the AEW Women's World Champion. Like I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. I would love to see her get in there, beat Tekla, and then maybe her and Athena would be a banger feud. Holy crap! Because both of those ladies have like a Joshi Strong style and Lucha mix. They're both very good at all three, and it'll be so good. So we just have all this good shit sitting on the shelf. Like pull a bottle down, Tony, and pour a shot, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's the injuries notwithstanding, you need to get your stars back. You need to start putting storylines on people that don't necessarily have anything to do with the belts.
Yeah.
Just like you do with the men.
Yeah. Equal treatment, really.
I mean, it shouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
Like what? Because they have vaginas, they're hard to write for. Get out of here.
No, not at all. And that's it. And the crazy thing about it is like, okay, look, here we are at a point where that depth of roster that you have would be very useful. So put it to use. Like we're at a point now where like we have such a good roster. And there's still 6 or 7 more people floating out there that would make perfect fits to certain things. And at this point, I feel like Tony needs to do whatever he can to get that 3rd hour of Dynamite, to maybe get a 3rd hour of Collision, to maybe get us back Rampage on Friday nights. And fuck it. Give us back Dark and Elevation. Like,
if that's
go
what
back
it takes.
to YouTube if that's what it takes. But like, the roster is so deep that we should be able to fix this women's roster problem. And it is also so deep that I've been screaming it from the heavens since we started the show. We need more time. More time. And that's not just me saying, I am a wrestling fan and would enjoy 2 or 3 hours more of wrestling a week. That is me saying your roster is so deep and so talented and so deserving of the attention that they would get from the extra 2 or 3 hours of wrestling a week that you need 2 or 3 more hours of wrestling a week.
Yeah.
And I would gladly watch it if it meant I got to see Nyla on a more regular basis, or Athena in AEW, or Persephone on a more regular basis, or if I got to see more of the undercard guys who don't currently have a title and aren't involved in titles. Like, I would love to get, Rampage back and have the Guns go on like a 5-week fucking run up to a title match just by beating people on Rampage. That'd be great. Like, there just needs to be more time. There's too many people for 4 hours. Nobody's like the people who like I said, Death Riders and Don Callis family. If you're part of that, you're golden. You got all the TV time in the world. If you're not, if you're not directly in a feud with one of those groups, good luck getting on TV. And that's not the way it should be. Not with a company with this deep of pockets and this good of fucking goodwill from the fans who could, the sickos would absolutely eat up another hour, 2, 3 of wrestling a week. We would. That's just how we are. We're built that way.
Yeah.
We are the people who would watch WWE 3 fucking times a week and then still go seek out NJPW and TNA and MLP and NWA and all that other shit. We are the sickos are the guys who are watching 10, 15, 20 hours of wrestling a week. We do that.
Yeah.
You could give it to us.
I mean, not so much for me anymore because I got kids.
Yeah, I got like kids
Keith
too.
Slater.
They're older, so I got a little bit of my time back. But I might not be able to watch 5 more hours of wrestling a week, but if you gave me a Rampage and an extra hour on each of the shows, I could definitely watch all of that and be excused for doing so, because thankfully my family is very much like, we want you to do what you want to do. So watch your wrestling because it's part of your podcast and we know you love doing that. So like, I don't really have a problem, getting the time I need to do this stuff, but like, I want more and I need to see more of certain people. And if that means seeing really prominent people a little bit less, like a little less John Moxley, a little less Don Callis.
A little less John Moxley would be great. A little less Don Callis would be stellar.
I think also maybe a way to prevent this kind of character burnout, or a way to prevent the roster from becoming an overwhelming thing, is to maybe for Tony Khan to institute mandatory vacation time. Because God knows John Moxley has not taken a vacation since he was supposed to take a vacation and then ended up having to win the world title because somebody had to, and it was Mox. And he was supposed to take a vacation. He was there. Yeah, he was supposed to take a vacation. And since then, he has not been off like a single show. Like, sit John Moxley the fuck down and tell him you are going to take a month and go heal up a little bit and enjoy some time in the sand with your wife. And we're going to give somebody else some of your time to further flesh out our roster and build somebody else up. And your wife is going to have her stuff taken over by Lexi for a little bit, just so she can, we're not taking her spot away, but just so she can go on vacation with you. Like, something like that should be mandatory at this point, especially with guys like Darby and Mox, who beat the fuck out of themselves week in and week out just for our fucking entertainment. Like, please guys, take a week, take a month. If you wanted to take a year, I wouldn't be mad at you. I'd miss you at the end, but I wouldn't be mad. So, and I know so many people get injured that you can't really take the time off because you don't want to but I think it's half and half. People are getting injured, so we need people around, but there's still that mindset that's built into you when you're part of the business that
show must go on, maybe.
The show must go on and we don't take time off. Unless you got to go in for surgery and the doctor says you cannot wrestle, we wrestle.
Right.
And so, like, I get that. But also, we're getting to the point where wrestlers are wrestling into their 50s and sometimes 60s. Billy Gunn is in his 60s.
Somehow. Yeah.
And so we're getting to the point where you can keep your health up and wrestle well into your, golden years.
Yeah, with proper diet, exercise, and general self-care.
Yeah, it's rest time, and a lot of these people aren't taking it. But the women's division is particularly hard hit by injuries, not because they have a problem with one person or another getting too much time. The problem is they have so many people getting zero time. Zero.
Yeah.
And for someone
Yeah.
like Nyla or Thunder Rosa, or God forbid this be a hot take, even Britt fucking Baker, to get zero time after all they have done for
Yeah.
this fucking company, there's your
Yeah.
root cause of your fucking problem. Right there. Build on that.
Okay, argument for me.
Yeah.
Also, do the Rebel tournament like we
Yeah.
talked about.
Do the Rebel tournament. That needs to happen before she
I mean,
leaves us, please.
apparently the Owen is going to be, the brackets are going to be announced this week. So I don't know when the actual tournament would be. I would suggest doing it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So that Rebel's still here to see it. But
yeah,
let's do that. That if you do nothing else,
do
and
that.
I'm sure that some of those things he will do. I'm sure he will at least try to make a play for Asuka and Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
I'm sure that a couple other things that we've talked about, he'll probably try to get done. Probably won't be the whole checklist though.
No, probably not.
So
but
if you
even
do
a little bit of
just
that
one
good.
thing, just like give the people, I guess the most basic thing is that you need to treat them as well as the men.
Yeah. As well as the men. I mean, I would be mandating, like, you will all talk like Hangman from now on, and you will differentiate between men's and women's world title. You will do that. Stuff like that. Just, there's so many little things that can be done to make things better, but there's a lot of big things too. And
yeah,
I mean, fuck it. Let's just start with a good one and give us Nyla back. Come on. Like, something has to give there, So, the women's division there's a lot of things you could do to help it out. I don't think that a full fix is going to happen just immediately, but I am hopeful that we're going to start seeing a trend better where we start getting maybe 2 matches of women a show instead of 1, maybe 3 women's matches on a pay-per-view instead of 2, maybe getting them off the pre-show since that's where they seem to be relegated to for the most part. Like, just stuff like that. Like, I mean, as you can see, the more we think about it, the more problems we come up with, and that's not good.
Yeah. No. And it's not to say that it should only be men on the pre-show or whatever. A pre-show exists. It needs to be filled with stuff, with content, but it is generally weighted so that any women's match that doesn't have a title attached to it is just kind of sent right back down to the bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's try and change that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of our ideas on how we would fix the women's division in AEW. Weigh in on with us on Blue Sky and let us know, what you would do. Thank you, Mike DeMart, our buddy at AEW Rankings, for
majorly
kind of helping us coming up with this idea this week.
Yeah, for both of us in different ways too.
Yeah, and know that we are as humbling as it is that you are a fan of ours, we are a fan of yours. So
for sure,
we enjoy your posts and we enjoy your rankings every week. And even if we don't always talk about the rankings, I've seen you to say, no, they didn't talk about the rankings this week. I know we don't always do that, but we do take into account what you post, and we do use that to think about, like, hey, who could be the next challenger? Because you're generally right about that stuff. So
yeah,
I want to say I'm very thankful to Mike for the work that he does, because he does such an insane amount of research on things out of his goodness of his heart and his passion for wrestling.
Yeah,
that
he doesn't get paid for that. He just does. He just does it because he's interested in it.
I swear to God, if we become a media empire where we're part of the wrestling media empire and we start getting paid, Mike, I'm putting you on the payroll, bud. And you can get paid to do your rankings for us. But either way, that was how we would fix the AEW women's division. I hope some of that stuff happens. I know my buddy Adam here also hopes that stuff happens. We want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Prognostic Pedals, Team Disaster Plan, and Weirwood. Thank you, Garrett Deming, for our wonderful theme music. As usual, check him out on the internet. You will love his stuff. You can get it in vinyl even, which is super cool. Not a lot of people be selling vinyl these days that aren't, at Walmart. Also, thank you, Weirwood, for the background music that you guys have heard throughout the show. New album coming out in June that also includes programming and tracking by myself. So we'll be probably replacing the background music here pretty soon with something new. But yeah, thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks to everybody who contributed to our content here. Thanks, Mike, for your rankings every week. Remember, guys, we love you. It's a dangerous world. Keep your head on a swivel out there. And as always, fuck ice.
Call your moms.
Call your mother. Peace.
Peace.